You're watching the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Now it's time for the Brent and Austen Show.
Hey, welcome down to Best Bet St. Augustine. Brent Martineau along with Austin Lane on a Thursday. Usually come down here on Fridays, but here we are on a Thursday, making it happen down here in St. Augustine. And a big day in Jacksonville as the throwback jerseys get announced. And I feel like this is like, hey, what do you think of them? Well, we kind of knew what they were going to look like, didn't we?
Yeah. I mean, we had a pretty good idea. You have to use your imagination too much. If you grew up around the 90s and you followed the Jaguars, you have a pretty good idea of what they're going to be. Yeah,
and so there's excitement in the air about that. A kind of nice little kickoff to what is now inside a week until the season. Andre Sisco, Tyson Campbell helped get them going. I think the players are probably excited about this stuff, too. Yeah. They like that little bit of style here in Jacksonville and kind of puts a cherry on top of a big offseason for the Jacksonville Jaguars with a little bit of fun. And now rookies report tomorrow, veterans report on Tuesday. And here we go for the football season. Today, you came up with this good idea about a couple weeks ago now, and we've been kind of waiting, and this is probably an appropriate day to do it. We are going to do a snake draft today on the show.
Yep.
And try to pick the all-time Jaguars team that you would take. And it's going to be interesting, right? Because we're not taking the top 25 players, the top 22 players. That's going to be actually 44 players.
Correct.
On our list. Actually 46 if you include kicker and punter. Yep. So 46 players. No, that would be 48 because we each get one of those.
Math, here we go again.
Yeah, so 48 different players over the last 30 years. Some of the positions are difficult to do. Others are not so difficult. In fact, you might be searching a little bit, which shows you the Jags have to get better in some of these spots.
Yeah, they definitely have to. It's going to be interesting how this whole thing shakes out. What positions do you attack first? Some positions have more depth, so I'm very excited to do this. We're going to do, obviously, one segment of the offense and one segment of the defense. So we're going to post those then and see who has the better team.
Yeah, we'll do that a little bit later on the show, probably started up around 11 o'clock. We also plan to go down to Jags headquarters. Marcel Robinson is there. George Peler, head equipment guy. You know him very well. And he was part of the ceremony today to help launch this throwback jersey, so we will do that. Meanwhile, Tiger Woods has teed off at the Open Championship, so keep an eye on the scoreboard there. And Justin Thomas had a nice early round today, so the final major of the year is underway. And Rory McIlroy disappointed in a big-time way, coming off that disappointment of the U.S. Open. There are a couple of guys that have not played well, including Bryson DeChambeau, so the two guys that were really going neck and neck. Not a good start to those guys on the first day of the Open Championship at Royal Troon. So we'll continue to update you there about that. We are live at Best Bet St. Augustine, and World Series of Poker wrapped up actually last night. We've got Christmas in July here, and you have just now about, I want to say the 25th, so about a week to get registered to win that golf cart that we've always showed you here at Best Bet St. Augustine. They'll have a big day coming up a week from Saturday where they'll hand out $30,000 plus of prizes, but you're going to have to be here to get any of those prizes, including the golf cart. So we will continue to talk about that and tell you how to get involved over the next week. It's not too late if you haven't done that just yet. There are teams in training camp. We mentioned that already. The Jaguars now kind of get in go mode. I know the coaches, they got there pretty much yesterday, coming off Tahoe and everything else, a little bit of a regroup, no doubt of a buzz. I was thinking of this today coming in, though. We've had varying camps over the years, from Tom Coughlin up in Wisconsin to start this thing in the crazy heat. So I really thought Jack Del Rio in my years here in Jacksonville and some of yours mixed it up quite a bit. Again, 2-a-days were a thing. You went under the lights one year, which was not well received by the players because of routine. Was well received probably by the fans and the media at that time. But there have been physical camps. There have been a little bit more laid back camps. I think those. I think they get labeled that way. But the difference between an easy camp or an easier camp and a hard camp is very minute. The bottom line is, these things are all hard, and especially in Jacksonville. How much harder does the weather make a camp in Jacksonville maybe compared to another place?
Oh, hands down. I mean, when you bring in humidity, I think the only thing worse would be elevation. You talk about that in Denver. But when you talk about humidity, it's like resistance training. It's going to fatigue you quicker. It's just going to wear you out that much faster. So it's definitely something to have as a positive, though, because and I know we disagree on this, but when those teams come in here week 1, week 2, or whatever you play at home first, teams can wilt in the heat a little bit. And I think if you're accustomed to training in the heat, it's only going to benefit you more. So, yeah, it sucks. It sucks when your socks and your cleats are soaking wet. You have to get a new pair of cleats. It sucks just feeling overheated. But like I said, it's resistance training, and there's a benefit to it.
Yeah, the other thing I thought about is the Chiefs are a team that still goes away from camp. I think there are 8 teams that now do that. We bring up Wisconsin for the Jags. I used to cover the Giants in Albany, New York. The Jags are one of many teams now that have it at their own facility. And with the way facilities are, you're kind of like, why do people go away?
Yeah.
Is there something to go away? I mean, the Chiefs are the team right now, right, from a chemistry standpoint and everything else. And I actually thought about this, Austin, and I know it paid off later in the year, but the 2022 Jags, in a sense, were away from Jags headquarters. They had to travel to Episcopal every day. It was a very short ride, but it was unique. It was different, right? I mean, Doug talked about that. Even the bus rides, you get a chance to kind of talk to your buddies or get to know guys, or just even that 10 minutes. I don't know if that made a difference. It might be a little bit of hyperbole, but I'm wondering if there's with the Chiefs being one of those teams that still does go away, is there a benefit to going away and building camaraderie and chemistry, or is it just an unnecessary part of it these days?
I mean, I think there definitely comes some camaraderie, right? Like if you're at, like the Chiefs, I think are still at Southwest Missouri State.
That's where
when I was in Chiefs camp, that's where I went. By the way, I mean, going from Jacksonville training camp to Kansas City training camp, it was night and day. Like, yeah, it was still physical and hard, but like that weather maybe got in the 90s like one day in Kansas City, and that was about it. So like it was a breeze for me. When you talk about, though, yeah, going in the dorms and everything, there is a little bit of a camaraderie thing. It's like you're back in college. You get away from your family and friends, as opposed to if you're staying in, the city where the facility is. So I think there is something to be said for it, but at the same time, I'm a big proponent of rest and recovery. And when you gotta sleep on those dorm beds and everything, and you got 6'6" linemen trying to make it work on those dorm beds, I think that kind of hampers your recovery a little bit. So there is a benefit. Yeah, there's team camaraderie, but you can build team camaraderie in a hotel just as much as you can in the dorm room. So obviously, I lean on the side of sleeping in the hotel, getting a better night's rest, and getting ready to go for tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and I don't want to like make this a generational thing, but now like with the bells and whistles and coming out of college and everything being there for you, and I just feel like, man, you could create more problems. You create more misery. It's already a miserable month anyway, even though, again, I get the old guard here, the get off my lawn stuff. Well, we used to have 2-a-days. We used to have 3-a-days. We used to have this. I get it. It's not that way, though. And the bottom line is these young men have grown up in a world that it hasn't been that way. So that's not their routine anymore. Their routine is almost to have everything they need right there. The recovery part of it, like you said, they really care about their bodies, I would say, more than yesteryear, right? Where it was more of this warrior mentality. I'll get through anything. And now the season's longer than ever. So I wonder if that plays a role.
Well, and every team handles training camp differently. I remember like when I was going through training camps and everything, like when I got to Kansas City, and it was kind of the same way in Jacksonville, but then Jacksonville actually changed it because I would talk to, obviously, my former teammates in Jacksonville when I was in Kansas City. And like Kansas City, we would have team meetings or like just like position meetings until about like 9 o'clock at night. And then we go back and sleep. And I knew that the year that I left back in 2013, I'm pretty sure they got done like at 5 or 6. So like we were, basically in meetings, go to bed, wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, go to meetings, practice, all that stuff. And then I find out that, all right, the guys back in Jacksonville got the hotels, number one, but number two, they get out like at 6 p.m. Like, what do we do? So every team is going to do a little different. Like some teams still believe in like, all right, we're going to try to throw as much at these players as possible because like this is where it's supposed to be hard. And then by the time you get to the regular season, it's a breeze. And some teams believe in, we're going to get out at 5 p.m. We're going to, we're going to sleep in a hotel just because that's going to show you the best player performance possible. So it's really building the adversity and having these players overcome it, or getting the best out of your players. I'm not saying which way's better.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, coaches believe in different things.
That's part of the button pushing again. And really, it's maybe it isn't. I mean, you kind of set up for what you are now anyway. I mean, there's no way the Jags are all of a sudden going to say, Doug Peterson's going to be like, hey, I really think we should go away for camp. That's not going to happen. They've got everything there. They built a pretty hefty priced facility to be able to house camp and house the Bucks and everything else that they're going to do this camp. I did find it interesting that 8 teams are still doing it, which is stunning to me. And the Super Bowl champs and really the team of the last 5 years is doing it. So it's a copycat league. You'll kind of wonder if there's some more like maybe we should be doing more of this and getting away. It's impossible, I think, for some. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, just getting rolling. We're going to do this, take an early break because we're going to try to go down to the Jaguars and meet with George Peler, the head equipment man for the Jags, who kind of helped put this thing together. And that throwback jersey is a thing. Plus, Tom Coughlin, when he will go into the Pride of the Jaguars, that's announced when they will wear these uniforms as well. Plus, our 30th anniversary team still to come on a Thursday from Best Bet St. Augustine. Hang with us on the Action Sports Shacks 24/7 network. Just getting going. Everyone loves a good game night. Here you don't have to be the host. You don't have to clean up. They bring the food and drinks to you, and you can watch whatever you want on the big screens. It's more than a card room. It's a night full of fun with friends. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now the newest location here in St. Augustine, right off 95 at exit 311. A brand new clean room, a full bar and menu, my favorite sushi in town. And I love the fries too. You don't have to just play poker at Best Bet. That's why I come over here to the table games and play one card poker. That's a pretty good card and a win. One card poker is like war as a kid, you against the dealer. And this isn't the only fun table game to play. A friendly staff, a lot of fun. It's a good night out at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the newest location in St. Augustine. You can be a serious player or a novice. It doesn't matter. If winning equals fun, you're a winner every time at Best Bet. I'll save you a seat, and I'll see you down here at Best Bet St. Augustine.
Oh, man, it is that time. I love being outside, but it is just so hot. Oh, my gosh, I cannot be outside. Well, it doesn't have to be. As a matter of fact, I've got the perfect solution for you to be able to stay outdoors and not look like this guy.
GW Outdoor Solutions has the solution that will help you create areas of shade with their automated retractable awning. As the summer months inch closer, the high temperatures will be right there too. With GW Outdoor Solutions, go from scorching to cooling in no time with one simple push of a button. These innovative shade solutions not only provide protection from the sun and rain, but also add style and functionality to your home. Let GW Outdoor Solutions transform your backyard into paradise. Check out gwoutdoorliving.com for your free estimate.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%. You know I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer. You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
It's hard to put a price on comfort, especially when you use that comfort on a daily basis. But if we're gonna put a price on it, how does the lowest price guaranteed sound? Furniture Source is gonna have the biggest brands, whether it's Ashley, Casper, or Tempur-Pedic, and once again, it's gonna be the guaranteed lowest price in Jacksonville. Right now, my friends at Furniture Source are gonna give you the ultimate hookup because all month long, they're making their inventory wholesale price. Check out their markdowns up to 50% off. And remember, since it's Furniture Source, you're getting the guaranteed lowest prices in Florida or your money back. Don't have the cash on you right now? It's no worry. Shop endless options to suit your style and budget and enjoy 36 months off with no interest financing. Why use your money when you can use theirs? Whether it's beds, couches, tables, or chairs, Furniture Source is going to have exactly what you're looking for. Shop the lowest prices in Jacksonville guaranteed. Find the location nearest you at FurnitureSourceJax.com.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at BoldCityAC.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. BoldCityAC.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at BoldCityAC.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hey, welcome back to Best Bet St. Augustine here on a Thursday. Brent and Austen Show on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Exciting day in Jacksonville. Marcel just tweeted, I saw he found a fan that was out there since like 9 o'clock last night lining up at the Jaguars ProShop
Okay.
to get in line. And there was a hefty line out there. So people are excited, and they'll be able to get obviously more gear and jerseys and everything else throughout the rest of training camp, which starts next Wednesday. And a lot of those practices open to the fans. And let's talk more about it right now. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, and we bring in the head equipment man of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that's George Peler. He's down at Jags headquarters. He's had this little secret for quite a while now, so it's a big day for George and the Jags to be able to finally tell everybody else and share. A lot of excitement, George.
Yes, it is. It's very exciting. It's been a long process. A couple years in the making. Had a lot of meetings, a lot of waiting, but it's finally the day.
Give us a little bit of an idea of that process. Like, how does this thing get started? Where does it really ramp up? How involved are you and other folks inside the Jags organization in it?
Being born and raised in St. Augustine, I was at the first Jaguars game. I've been a Jags fan since the beginning of the team. Lucky enough to start working in '99 when we were still wearing these uniforms, and then once I got full time and I finally became the head equipment manager in the summer of 2022. I just I asked Mr. Lamping, is there a reason we haven't worn them? And he said, no. Do you think the fans would like them? And I said, yes, sir. And, check with Trent and Coach Peterson and Mr. Kahn. And then just kind of went from there. I called up the NFL, sent them 4 pictures of Fred Taylor in action. And I said, match these. This is exactly what I want. I want the down to the T. And then I probably had samples in my hands, I would say December of 22. And I've, had them in my drawer ever since.
So, George, by the way, it's Austin Lane, man. It's great to hear from you again. It's been a little bit. And let me just start off by saying, and when it comes to equipment managers, you don't know what you have until they're gone. Because I went to Kansas City and Chicago. I'm not going to name any names or anything, but you really appreciate how good someone does at their job like George does until you're in Chicago. You can't get a pair of cleats because I guess they're trying to save costs. Maybe they should have saved us with this re-signed Devin Hester. I don't know what the deal was, George, but when you talk about these new jerseys, I mean, are they essentially exact replicas from the originals then? Like, is there anything different at all, or do they kind of stay true to like the old school jersey?
Nope. I have a couple examples. I'm not sure if you can see them. I have a Fred Taylor jersey from the early 2000s, and then I have a Fred Taylor jersey in the current cut, and it's
yeah.
I'm not sure if you can see, but the weight of them.
Yeah, we can.
The weight, the stretch of them. I mean, just the technology has gone in the last 25, 30 years is astounding.
Wow.
But the look is all there. I mean, in a way, George, just was kind of easy, right? You didn't have to tweak it and see if people would like it. You kind of knew what it was.
That's exactly right. There were a couple questions about the color of the stripe on. I said, I want them matched as utterly close as we can, just to make it as true. It honestly, on that standpoint, it was an easy process.
I think I remember asking you this last year when we were talking about some other things that you do in the equipment. We did a story on George and the equipment room. And I say, are you surprised how excited and kind of geeked up the fans get over jersey combos and uniforms anyway, and especially how much they were thirsting to go back to the old days?
Yeah, it's, my 14-year-old son, Mason, he keeps me pretty in tune of what the kids these days are thinking, and all the uniform combinations. Some people don't care, and a lot more people do care. It's fun. That's one of the most fun things of my job is mixing and matching. You can't do as much of that in the NFL as you can in college, but we do as much as we can.
You got a new generation of kids. You just mentioned your 14-year-old, but I think that younger generation, but you have younger players in the locker room. It looked like Cisco and Tyson Campbell and these guys were pretty jazzed up about it too.
Oh man, that video, it was so fun to watch them make it. Just watching them clown around. Those are the two perfect guys, just being themselves. And it was fun to watch, and probably even more fun for them to do it.
So then, George, when you guys rock these jerseys, will that be worn with the old school helmet as well, with the old school logo and that black color, or are you going to stick with the newer logo?
Nope, it'll be the old logo. That's easy. It's the helmet is the exact same, just the decals change. So that's okay. It's an easy switch, and we'll wear them.
Now, I'm sorry. When you say an easy switch, how long will that take y'all to switch out the logos from each helmet?
Easy switch is relative. I mean, it'll take us probably 4 or 5 hours to do all of them, but that's relatively easy.
George Peler visited with us, head equipment man of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's been here since day one. St. Augustine guy. Really cool story, actually, of his rise through the Jaguars organization. Named the head man in 2022, and part of the motivation behind the throwback jerseys coming to life here in 2024. There really is a lot of excitement around the organization right now, George, given this offseason. I know you go from, as a local guy, you can feel the fans, right? And you go from the disappointment of the end of last season to all these different things, from Josh Allen to Trevor to the stadium to now the throwbacks. We've got some good momentum going into training camp here.
That's exactly right. It's fun to be a part of, the ups and downs of the organization, and Trent and Coach Peterson, they've got us going in the right direction. It's just, it's so exciting to be a part of.
What is the next? You got the rookies coming in tomorrow, and then you got the veterans coming in Tuesday. What is it like for you, just from a business standpoint now? What you have to do? How maddening has the last week been, or the next couple of days?
Well, it's going to be the last week. My staff, Kyle and Colin and Tyler. We're getting all the stuff ready, getting everybody geared up, and then the rookies will come in tomorrow. Rookies and quarterbacks, and then we'll have a couple practices this weekend, and then the full team will be in on Tuesday, and we'll go from there. It's going to be an exciting training camp.
Probably the guy most impacted, maybe by the Miller Electric Center, has been you and your team, right? I mean, how nice has it been to be over there? Or I guess I should ask, has it been nice to be over there rather than the stadium? I
mean, this year, this off season, we were just talking July 1st of last year was our first day in the facility, and we were, we had no days off. Last off season, there really wasn't one, just because we were moving. But so this year it was good to, we can kind of tweak some stuff and just be ready. And it's, when Kyle and we designed the equipment room, we wanted it to be more efficient, and it played out to a T this year.
George Peler with us here on Brent and Austen Show on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. All right, I got to get to the rules of engagement here on this throwback uniform. You can wear various uniforms or different uniform combos 3 different times. That's the rule. As of now, I think you guys are just planning, at least the only one announced is Indianapolis Week 5. Tom Coughlin will be inducted into the Pride of the Jaguars. Appropriate throwback game, of course. Do I have all those details correct?
That is correct. We'll be wearing it, for the Colts game. Coach Coughlin will be inducted into the Ring of Honor. It'll be alumni weekend. It'll just be a lot of people. We'll get to see a lot of old faces. It'll be fun. And the new uniform, the old uniforms, wearing them for the 30th anniversary, it's all come together seamlessly.
All right. Before we let you go, you got any Austin Lane stories from the equipment room, man? I mean, listen, this is a guy that probably leads the Jacksonville Jaguars in practice fights, even in somewhat of a short tenure. So hopefully he didn't fight with you guys in the equipment room too much.
No, not at all. We loved Austin. And if I remember correctly, Austin, you were a big Brewers fan, if that's correct.
Yeah, you nailed it, man. Absolutely,
right. And,
George. Diehard Brewers fan.
Ryan Gowans, we called him Blade. Yep. He was a big Cardinals fan, so I know you guys used to get into it pretty good.
Well, and the crazy thing about Blade was that he was from Murray State as well.
That's
so
correct.
He was my equipment manager in Murray State, and then I get to Jacksonville, and lo and behold, he's there like giving me my helmet and everything. So it kind of comes full circle, which was wild. I mean, real quick for you, George, we can let you go. You know, I've always been enthralled with these guys who take fines every single game. I mean, I once heard a rumor that Charles Woodson, you know, at the end of the year, because he refused to wear like any white in his socks, he's always wearing green when he played for the Green Bay Packers, like was fined tens of thousands of dollars by the end of the year. Have you ever encountered anybody in Jacksonville who refused to follow, like, you know, the rule set and had to pay a fine for each game due to the socks or sleeves or something like that?
Well, yep. So
and you don't have to name a name, but
well, there was a player 2 years ago. They a new rule of emphasis for 2 seasons ago was the pants have to be below the knees, and we had a player that he refused to wear them. He was a shorter guy. He refused to wear them below his knee. He wanted to hike them up, and because yes, the players would get fined, but then that really wasn't doing anything. They wanted to crack down, so the team started getting fined. So the player got fined. Then we said, hey, you got to change him. Then he didn't do it, and then the team got fined. I got called in, and they're fussing at me, and then I went to him. I said, all right, that's it. You're not wearing any short pants anymore. Your pants are going to be to your ankles. And he was like, oh, no. Yeah, and I was like, you know, I'm not getting fussed at for something you do. You know, if you want to lose your money, that's your business. You do it yourself. When you start getting me in trouble, that's when I'm going to get mad.
Well, that equipment room, those guys, we watch them work too. They're kind enough to let us on the road go to, you know, when they're bust, the early bust, so we can do our shows. And we've seen them do a lot of work over the years. We've done stories on them. They are like the unsung heroes of an NFL organization. But, George, lastly, the player relationship. And Austin can comment about this with the equipment room relationship. I mean, you just remembered he was a Brewers fan. And going back, I mean, that's some deep stuff, man. This was like 10 years ago. Yeah. I mean, that bond that you guys have is very, I would assume, like almost coach player like, but in a different way.
Yeah, you know, during the season, starting right now, I'm going to be around this family more than I'll be around my other family. So, you know, it's like with everybody. You know, you get everybody's, you know, you get in little scuffles with your brothers, and then, you know, but in the end, we're all here. We all have the same goal. You know, we all want to win a Super Bowl. That's the goal.
That'd be pretty sweet. George Peler here, thanks for jumping in for a few minutes, man. I know it's a cool day for you, and now it's time to get to work, so we'll see you out on the practice field.
Absolutely, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, that is George Peler here, Jaguars head equipment man, and I don't want to embarrass him, but, I mean, that gig that's an interesting world. Those guys are up early, often. They sleep little. And they get everybody ready to go. And I know you guys as players appreciate that, some more than others. I mean, you're always going to have your guys that don't appreciate it probably enough. But, I mean, the players really do appreciate the work that those guys put in. Hopefully they show it tip-wise around Christmas time at the end of the year.
Without a doubt, you know, and so sometimes some players do give tips. I was sure to give at least a little bit of a tip to the equipment guys. You know, it's crazy because especially during training camp, when it's amplified, it's stressful. And, like, the equipment guys, I mean, there's so many things that they have to do. You know, like, they have to get your gear ready, obviously, number one, but they can also be, like, therapists, you know? Because, I mean, they're the guys in the locker room. Right? Yeah, but there's the guys in the locker room that they're not coaches, right? So you kind of feel a little more comfortable just kind of, like, shooting the you-know-what with them a little bit. I mean, that's where George, I'm sure, kind of learned my Brewers fandom, because I'd always go back and forth with, like he said, Blade in the equipment room, because he's a big Cardinals fan. So nonstop yelling back and forth, because I can't stand the Cardinals, obviously. But, you know, it's almost like a bartender, you know, like where you just kind of set the vibe a little bit. Yeah. And it's really cool because, like I said, I've been on other teams, and it wasn't like that. You know, I mean, when I played on the Jaguars back in 2010, 2013, I could have always went back there and, you know, I need a pair of gloves, need a pair of cleats or everything, or just say what's up. You know, and some of these other teams, when I played for them, you didn't really have that camaraderie. It's almost like, okay, well, this is your last pair for a while. I'm like, we're in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? So, right. I mean, every team kind of runs it differently, you know, and I think, I mean, unless things have changed so drastically since I've been there, I think the Jacksonville Jaguars do a great job with George at the helm now of, you know, running that equipment room.
Yeah, I always think it's a really cool piece. I mean, it's something that we get to see that, I mean, quite frankly, fans don't. We try to bring it to life in storytelling fashion at times, but it's, again, it's a tough job now. I mean, these guys work. They might, I don't want to put who works the hardest in the building type thing out there, but these guys are right up there if that's the case. And I think they've also helped set the trend in the NFL on a couple of different things, and probably more than I even know. I'm sure maybe George right now, the way they set up this locker room or this new facility is kind of a pathway for others who are doing new facilities, you know, whether it's Tennessee or Buffalo or other things. But really, if you think about the work they've had to do from a couple of years ago, Episcopal moving every day back and forth to there, now moving into Miller Electric Center. These guys have had a rough couple of years where they probably haven't had many days off. But even before that, they set the tone in London. And so Jaguars were kind of the guinea pig of London, trying to figure things out from logistics to travel to this kind of work. And I'm sure they probably helped the rest of the league along the way. So there's a lot that goes into it when you're, especially in camp, you got 90 guys plus. A little bit easier at 53, but I would just say a little bit easier. It's still a lot.
Yeah. Do you think the player that wouldn't put their pads down, is that Agnew?
You know, it's funny you said. I was trying to think. The first guy I thought of that I couldn't remember, I felt like his pants were a little higher, and I'd have to go back and look at video, was a guy like James Robinson.
Oh, okay.
But maybe it was Agnew, because I wouldn't think Robinson would want to get fined a lot. He didn't have a ton of money, right?
No, dude's making rookie minimum.
And Agnew, yeah, maybe it was Agnew.
Because it's got to be someone who made a little more money.
Yeah, you had to be willing to bite the bullet there,
he said a couple years ago, right? So it wasn't Kelvin, because I was thinking Kelvin Ridley too, but...
Oh, yeah, that's a good call. Yeah. So
trying to decipher.
George, they got trying to put it together now.
Yeah.
Boy, does he have some stories.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the deal now. Someday,
dude could write a book.
Someday he's going to be sitting on the front porch down here in St. Augustine.
Yeah.
And I'll go buy the beer just to hear the stories.
Dude could definitely write a book.
Let's take a time out here. Best Bet St. Augustine Jaguars throwback reveal is done for the day. And again, week 5 against the Colts. It will be induction ceremony day for Tom Coughlin. To do it again at some point this year because of the thirst for it.
I hope so.
And we'll see when exactly that takes place. But let's take a time out. Brent and Austen Show. Again, Elon has not helped me out and freed up our Twitter, but we are on the Action News Jacks app. We are on actionnewsjacks.com. We are on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch and everywhere else. We'll get the Twitter broadcast up and running whenever they approve me.
It'll probably be a couple weeks, Brent. I told you, man.
But there's plenty of places to get us, and obviously on the show here on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Until then, we're back at it. Talk more football. We'll draft a snake draft of the 30th anniversary team, if you will, of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Who would you ride with? I don't think the resume is the only thing that we're taking into consideration here. So we'd love for you to play along, and some of these could get pretty tricky. And we'll have some debate amongst ourselves. That's coming up in the 11 o'clock hour. More to come from Best Bet St. Augustine here on the Brent and Austen Show. We all have our favorite spots in town to eat, drink, and have a good time. And once in a while, we try a new spot. This new spot will soon become your favorite spot. It's 1937 Spirits and Eatery in San Marco. Where else can you get unicorn fish? It was really good. They have local fresh seafood. Try a terrific burger or a Jack's Hot Chicken sandwich. The ambiance is perfect for any occasion. The idea here is to have fun, have a good time. Whether you're chilling out on the couches, cozying up to the bar, having lunch or dinner, it's a throwback experience. 1937, when going out to dinner was like going to a party. They even have a photo booth. Who doesn't like a good photo booth? We recently brought the entire team out to try it, and everyone said, I'm bringing my significant other here to try it as well. The new spot becomes your favorite spot. Make 1937 Spirits and Eatery in San Marco your new favorite spot.
What started out as better people, better projects just keeps getting, well, better. That's Better Exterior Solutions, ready to help you create a better outdoor experience. Check this out. Motorized pergolas are the latest in technology to transform your outdoor space. Beautiful day? Let the sun shine through. Summer rainstorm? These pergola systems close automatically to keep the weather out. From residential to commercial uses, Better Exterior Solutions has products customized to meet virtually any existing architectural structure. With retractable awnings, screens, and hurricane shutters too, if you want unparalleled quality and expertise, you need Better Exterior Solutions. Get a free estimate by visiting betterexteriors.com or calling 904-902-4999. Better Exterior Solutions. Experience better.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 143-2579.
The friendliest golf course in town, the Golf Club at Southampton. Local golfers have no shortage of options when it comes to picking a course to play here in Northeast Florida year-round. Yet time and time again, I find myself here at the Golf Club at Southampton. Easy to get to off 210 in St. Johns County. It's family-owned and operated and renowned for being one of the area's most player-friendly. That's just one of the reasons we hold the Action Sports Jacks Dream 18 charity golf tournament here each fall. The Mark McCumber design layout is great for all skill levels of golfers, from the guys who bomb it a mile on the range to golfers like me who are just happy to put it in the fairway, which Southampton has very accommodating fairways. And if you need new clubs, come down to the ProShop. They'll fit you up and get you a nice new set like they did for me. For more information on membership or to book a tee time and see for yourself, head over to golfsouthampton.com or call the clubhouse at 904-287-7529. The Golf Club at Southampton. It's the official home of the Action Sports Jacks Dream 18. Make it your home for golf too.
It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access. Welcome to Spring Sports Brewery, everybody. Hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence. You can bring your party or event to Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Strings, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. A full menu made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
Hey, welcome back here to Best Bet St. Augustine. Brent Martineau along with Austin Lane. Good to catch up with George Peler here. Thanks to Marcel Robinson and everybody back at the studio for making that happen. That was pretty cool to have him there. We'll show you some images and video from this morning as we continue on during this morning. And again, 11 o'clock hour, we'll start our offense, at least, on the snake draft of the Jacksonville Jaguars 30th year anniversary team, if you will. It's a different way to do it. Who we riding with is going to be kind of a fun process. And then we'll put it up there later today and into tomorrow and see if you agree. Again, you can't. This is going to be one of these things, just so let you know. I take a quarterback, or Austin takes a quarterback, and then I take a quarterback, and then running back. So it's like you can't just fill this team with Fred Taylor and Maurice Jones-Drew and Tony Baselli and our teams are going to look a little bit different than like your all 30-year team, right? We're not talking about the 24 best players, if you will, in franchise history. Not going to work that way.
Not going to work that way.
We might have some holes in our lineup.
Might be some holes, and you can. And part of this stipulation, you can only draft one running back as well. So yeah, I mean, I think we know we're going running backs, but
Yeah.
We'll see who gets who.
Okay. So anyway, we've got that coming up in just a bit. Let me catch you up to date on some of the things going on in the sports world, and that includes the Open Championship at Royal Troon, and Justin Thomas in the lead. He shot a 68. I think he was leading the Scottish Open last week, too, before falling off. Justin Thomas has been really just struggling overall with his golf, and so to see him popping up every now and again these last couple of weeks is interesting, but will it last? I'm not sure I'd bet on it. Alex Noren and Justin Rose and Russell Henley, Sepp Straka, all 2 under par. Adam Scott, 1 under. Matt Wallace, Chris Kirk, Jason Day, 1 under. He's on the golf course. And Tiger Woods, he's 3 holes in, and he's got a birdie under his belt. So 1 under. He just started, obviously, in the last hour. Tony Finau finished even par. So a couple other names to throw in. That Colin Morikawa is 1 over early in his round. So is Scotty Scheffler and Cameron Young. John Rahm, 2 over, 73. He's done. Terrell Hatton, 2 over. That would have been probably a popular pick for many. Billy Horschel, Jacksonville resident, 2 over after 9. Phil Mickelson, 2 over after 5. And I'm trying to get all the way down to the Rorys of the world, and boy, it's just not good. It looks like for Rory McIlroy. Ricky Fowler, 6 over after 8 holes. Holy cow. Rory shot a 78, 7 over coming off the disappointment. He was the second odds-on favorite to win this event. 7 over. He basically shot himself out of the tournament in round number 1. And Bryson DeChambeau, U.S. Open champ, who'd been playing a lot of good golf, 6 over. Today in his first round at the Open Championship. So, 5 over, shot a 76. So both not so great for those guys that went toe-to-toe in the U.S. Open. 19 assists, 24 points for Caitlin Clark last night, so she continues to grab headlines. Do you feel like I've been watching everything? I'm probably more of a headline reader when it comes to this. I've flipped it on from time to time. It feels like Clark has settled in. Remember, she got off to a slow start, but Angel Reese with all the double-doubles. Actually, the rookie class in general has contributed. The young players in the league feel like they're contributing, and the league's going in the right direction. It's not just those two have young talent.
Cameron Brink was on her way to make a name for herself, but unfortunately
ACL.
got injured. Had knee surgery. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a 2-horse race now with the MVP. I mean, people thought that Angel Reese kind of had it in the bag with the, setting the record for the consistent double-doubles. But now Caitlin Clark dropping 19 dimes. That's a WNBA record. Might have something to say about it. So it'll come down to those two. And it's crazy how, obviously they were tied together in college. And I think they elevated the collegiate game because of those two. And now we get to the WNBA and they're still going head-to-head. So it's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I think, the odds makers have kind of put Caitlin Clark now. I think she's moved quite heavily to be Rookie of the Year, but the All-Star game coming up this weekend will be good stuff. I just like the fact that they're playing, but it's good that they're playing well, right? It's good that they're going to be good. The first couple of weeks of the WNBA season, we're like, okay, maybe they're going to be all over. The whole storyline has settled down. The storyline of the Caitlin Clark stuff and whatever everybody was trying to either manufacture or what was real has settled into the play of the WNBA and the play of especially these two women who are going to really bring the league to another level and carry it into the future. So much so that I think I saw a headline today that they might be on the verge of like a title sponsorship for like $200 million a year. I mean, the influx of money that has come into the WNBA is amazing. I mean, I don't know how much you'd have to go back to the infancy of some of these leagues to figure out players that have impacted the game to X degree. We'll always go to Tiger Woods in this conversation, impacted the sport of golf, brought money and brought people and created a generation of golfers, really, and maybe multiple generation of golfers, had a style, a look, all this stuff. I'm not really sure there's anybody that's been bigger to a sport than Tiger Woods and the different tentacles of that. But I wonder if we're going to write the book on Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, this class, the WNBA, as these two. And I mean, I think you put Caitlin number 1, but I think the whole idea of everything else is almost this collection of talent taking this game to new heights like we haven't seen in sport in since Tiger, but in a team sport probably for decades or maybe ever.
Yeah, and credit to Caitlin Clark, too, because, you mentioned it kind of got off to a rough start just in terms of the fouls and how it felt like she was getting treated, and maybe some of her teammates didn't have her back when she got those hard fouls and everything, but you saw a player that didn't complain, didn't feel sorry for herself, just kind of went about her business. And now you're seeing a Caitlin Clark that almost has that Mamba mentality a little bit. You know, they played Minnesota about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, and Minnesota's coach is the coach that will be coaching Team USA in the Olympics. So there's a little storyline going into that game where Minnesota's coach said, I don't give a bleep about, you know, the narrative of Caitlin Clark in the Olympics. Like, I'm just focused on my team. And then what does Caitlin Clark do? Goes out, has a really good game, and then seals the game at the end and has a little extra clapping, you know, for the crowd and everything. So I like now she's kind of falling into her own a little bit. She's getting more comfortable. We're seeing that Mamba mentality, and we're seeing her take over games. And if you want to, you know, double team her, you want to triple team her, well, guess what? She's shown now that she can pass the ball as well. And when her teammates can actually facilitate and help, you know, make points themselves, it's only going to help her out as well. So it's really cool to see. And Angel Reese is doing her thing as well. But I just think, and I've spoke this since day one, when it comes to just the on-the-court game, I think no one's even coming close to being as entertaining as Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, and by the way, she have to limit the turnovers. She gets like 6 turnovers a game. She got the ball in her hands all the time. So there's a little bit of that element too. And so it's not perfect, but and their teams play better. I mean, they've had some really nice wins. So, I mean, she's elevating her team. That's the other thing about this. It's not, they're a bad team. That was the thing. They weren't a good team. That's why they were the number 1 pick. And they're actually kind of come up to the middle of the pack, or at least somewhere that you got to. They're competitive, you know, with the additions that they have. Leah Boston, by the way, has played very well with Caitlin Clark. She's been a big beneficiary of that style of play and that inside-outside game. So it's wild to watch, but I just don't know. Like, Ohtani comes over to the Major League Baseball, and it's an elevation, but Major League Baseball is already big. The NFL, there's not going to be a player that just single-handedly, or even a couple players that just elevate the league to a new way. Or did that happen? Like, I always believe that in the NFL, the thing that changed the NFL and got them like from here to boom was like fantasy football, gambling. Like, those are the things that everybody started to tune into. It wasn't your casual fan could then jump in and have some interest. Your fantasy football got so much of the female population interested in sports and playing along. And I think some of that was by just happenstance. I don't want to say by mistake, but I do think it was kind of by mistake. I think they fell into it. The NFL did, and they were the beneficiary of this new world, this social media world, this fantasy football world, this gambling is okay world, this all this stuff. And they have probably benefited more than others, maybe soccer too in other places, but they've been betting on soccer in other parts of the world for a long time. So I just don't have a Ken Griffey Jr. We think of him. Did he elevate the game? Absolutely elevated the game, but not to like triple your revenue and things like that. You know what I mean?
It's hard in team sports.
Really hard in team sports. Like, I mean, Gretzky maybe did this for the NHL.
Gretzky definitely did it for the NHL. I mean, I think Tony Hawk did it just for action sports in general. Shaun White, I think, for snowboarding. Yeah, I mean, essentially, like the individual sports, you obviously have a better chance. I mean, Serena. That was more Venus than Serena, but I mean, you know, Serena was, I think, obviously the better player and the champion.
I even think like NASCAR, which is kind of a team sport, and it had multiple people at the time. I think like Jeff Gordon was an interesting part of this mix that kind of brought this, at least some polarization to it, and brought even maybe a late. Like the Dale Earnhardt Jr., like the old school crowd to life even more because this was a new wave of driver. You know?
Sure. I mean, I think when you talk about NASCAR, you have to go with Jeff. I mean, Richard Petty maybe back in the day, but then you have to go Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt, and just in terms of the duality because they represented different things and they had different fan bases, and like that's when NASCAR I feel like was really a NASCAR.
Yeah, and it hasn't quite been the same since. How do you duplicate that?
No one's picking sides anymore. Like back in the day, you had to pick a side. Was it Jeff Gordon or Dale Earnhardt? Like, you couldn't have it both ways.
Yeah, and so the time is now, is what I guess I'm saying for the WNBA. You could have great players come along. You could still have like better players than Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. I just don't know if you'll have the dynamic that you have right now. It's going to be fascinating to see. We said this months ago. Is the WNBA going to screw it up? Because they have this opportunity. It looks like they're taking advantage of it. Looks like they're doing a pretty good job of it right now. They've stayed in the headlines. Well, they get drowned out a little bit football season maybe. But this has now been a 2024 story around the WNBA, which is great for that league. I mean, fantastic. And it might propel for the next 3, 4, 5 years and well beyond when we really see the benefits of all this and what happened with the Caitlin Clark hype and the polarization of however it was interpreted. So I just think it's fascinating, and maybe hits a different kind of level this weekend with those guys on the same team, those women on the same team, if you will. Brent Martin, Austin Lane, Best Bet, St. Augustine, and we are coming up on, okay, how are we going to pick this team? Snake draft on the way. Quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, left tackles, right tackles, any guards. We don't have to be specific on the tackles and guards, right? We have to go left tackle, right tackle.
I mean, you could, but you don't be specific. Okay. Whatever you feel, man. If you feel like you want to put 2 left tackles and put 1 right tackle, that's on you.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Actually, as I was researching this a little bit more, make sure the biggest thing of this, you don't want to leave anybody out.
Sure.
Right? And it's amazing how many folks played multiple positions. Take a guy like Mo Williams over the years. Started out at right guard, then went to right tackle, even I think might have gone back to guard at some point. And you're seeing, it's kind of like the Walker Little effect, right?
Yeah.
Where those guys cross-train and they bounce back and forth. Brad Meester, first year played in Jacksonville, played at left guard.
Yeah.
And then moved over to center, and obviously was a long-time center. So we'll do that when we come back. Another break here, and at 11 o'clock hour, we are going to draft what we think would be our best team out of the Jags players of the last 30 years. And that includes today's players. So the resume doesn't have to be long. Travis Etienne could make this list if you think he should be on the list.
So we got a funny comment from Mr. Hugo. I wasn't Team Gordon or Team Dale Earnhardt. I was a diehard Dick Trickle fan. And it's funny you bring that. I mean, I told this story before, but my mom's, my stepdad growing up was best friends with Dick Trickle's daughter, so he got to go to a couple Dick Trickle races and kind of sit in the pits and everything. But Dick Trickle's been like a family friend of us because he's from Wisconsin Rapids, grew up there in central Wisconsin. So always a fun fact I love to throw out when Dick Trickle pops up.
That's good, and that got the casual fan involved as well.
Yeah.
In the sport of NASCAR. All right. Brent and Austen Show from Best Bet St. Augustine. We'll tell you about some of the fun things going on here. You can win a golf cart coming up in the next week, but you got to get in by next Thursday to do that. We've got Christmas in July here at Best Bet St. Augustine and the other Best Bet locations as well, including Jacksonville and Orange Park. So get ready for another big weekend as the World Series of Poker just wrapped up with a $10 billion winner out there in Las Vegas. Jaguars draft for the best players that could assemble a team of the last 30 years. We go there when we come back on the Brent and Austen Show.
In Northeast Florida, we love hanging out on the back patio, maybe grilling out lunch or dinner with the family, enjoying the good weather, or maybe enjoying the big game on the TV. Or maybe your favorite team in town, the Action Sports Jags team. This is great, except for when it's really hot or the bugs start coming out. But what if you didn't have to worry about that? Titan Outdoor Solutions will make your outdoor area a comfortable spot any time of the day, any time of the year. This makes too much sense. Titan Outdoor Solutions can give your home an upgrade. Customized pergolas, awnings, controlled shade, even retractable screens. The solution to beating the heat and the bugs and getting more use out of your home is Titan Outdoor Solutions. And this can even help prevent storm damage at your home. Living in Florida and living in your home is already good. Now make it great. Quality products, custom work, locally owned and operated. Visit TitanShuttersAndScreens.com or call 904-484-7580.
People helping people is at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From 1954 to 2024, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. That commitment includes a partnership with the Action Sports Jags 24/7 team as the presenting sponsor of all Armada men's and women's broadcasts this summer. Action Sports Jags and Alive Credit Union, a partnership that just makes sense when it comes to covering Northeast Florida. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of our first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
I've been telling you about CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing for a long time now. Their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants.
We've had a Connecticut water softener and drinking water system in our home for more than 7 years. You can see the difference whether you're washing clothes, the dishes, or what I like to do most, fill this up for some coffee every morning, and mostly all day. Remember, if you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter.
Right now, you can save $1,000 or more when you bundle the Connecticut Premier Softener with a Connecticut K5 drinking water system. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions so you can improve it. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. Financing options available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579. Baker Sports is local sports. Uniforms from Pop Warner and Little League to travel ball, high school, and college. They make you look good. They help you play good. Baker Sports has been helping families make memories that will last a lifetime with their Baker's Buckets. We've got a lot of these filled with baseballs and softballs in the garage. I've been throwing batting practice to Ty and Kaylee for years and also sit on the Baker's Bucket, catching Kaylee while she practices her pitching. Baker Sports is homegrown, and a lot of employees that used to play on local ball fields now work for Baker Sports, now helping you look good, play good, and make memories of your own. Visit bakersport.com to see what Baker Sports can do for you. Custom apparel, Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, embroidery, screen printing, and more. Baker Sports is local sports from Jacksonville to anywhere in the Southeast. Bakersport.com. Everyone loves a good game night. Here you don't have to be the host. You don't have to clean up. They bring the food and drinks to you, and you can watch whatever you want on the big screens. It's more than a card room. It's a night full of fun with friends. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now the newest location here in St. Augustine, right off 95 at exit 311. A brand new clean room, a full bar and menu, my favorite sushi in town. And I love the fries too. You don't have to just play poker at Best Bet. That's why I come over here to the table games and play one card poker. That's a pretty good card and a win. One card poker is like war as a kid, you against the dealer. And this isn't the only fun table game to play. A friendly staff, a lot of fun. It's a good night out at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the newest location in St. Augustine. You can be a serious player or a novice. It doesn't matter. If winning equals fun, you're a winner every time at Best Bet. I'll save you a seat, and I'll see you down here at Best Bet St. Augustine.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Well, there they are, the throwback uniforms. And as we had George Peler on earlier today, I mean, pretty easy, really, right?
Yeah.
Just copy what the old thing was and don't venture too far. I kind of like what George said there. He's very upfront about it. You didn't have to outsmart yourself on this one.
Correct.
And they didn't. It seems like they're a big hit. I actually did a poll earlier in the day, just right before coming on the show, and let's see where that poll is listed at. Now, people were actually offended that anybody would say it's just a uniform, and that's a low amount, but 350-plus votes, and we got love it, 87%, like it, 7%, it's just a uni, 6%. I guess they hit a home run.
Yeah.
And that was not a hard thing to do, I think, to hit a home run. I think the fans were ready for it. They knew it, and so they met the fans' expectations. Not always an easy thing to do, but they did it. All right, we're going to do this as we're welcoming back to Best Bet St. Augustine. Brent Morton, Austin Lane, Nick in the daytime there as well, back in the studio, and Nick getting ready for his own little project tomorrow. We'll see how that goes with College Football 25 on the horizon, as we'll have a little bit of a video game playing day to finish up the summer, if you will, on Friday. I'll be here on the show for about an hour tomorrow. Then I got a Jags meeting down at the stadium, not on the boat, but at the stadium. And Austin and Nick will take it from there. We'll trying out some of that College Football 25, which has been getting good reviews. And I think Nick's been practicing.
I hope he has been with that Tennessee offense. A lot of new faces there, Nick.
Oh, I have been practicing. I've been practicing a lot, and I'm liking it a whole bunch. a whole bunch.
Okay, I'm just saying, are you going to be mad at me if I take Oregon over Wisconsin tomorrow?
No,
If I
take
have to
whoever
play
you
you?
want. It don't matter who you take.
Okay, cool. Oh, okay. Well, in that case, let's go ahead and roll Tide, Alabama, man.
Wow. So
you
you
know how
are
that game goes against
So
Tennessee.
Nick, are you good at this game?
I mean, I feel like I'm okay. I'm not super great. This game's different.
Doesn't want to set
Normally
himself up for failure.
No, like it's true. Normally with Madden, it's the defense is a lot better. In this game, defense isn't as good, so it's harder to play defense because the talent varies so much. There's more athletes on the field, and it's just a wider array of just whatever the game has for you. Like tackling's not great.
Yeah.
College kids that aren't developed fully yet or will not sometimes fully develop and aren't great tacklers or whatever, it represents that in the game fairly well. So it makes defense a little bit harder. Offense is still fun. I think it's more polished on offense than Madden is. So it is a lot of fun.
Well, offense is usually a little more fun. So we'll get into that a little bit more tomorrow. All right, let's get into this now and set the boundaries here, Austin.
Yep. So basically, how we're going to do is we're going to have Nick pick a number between 1 and 10. Brent will guess. Who's ever closer can draft first. Then we'll go from there. Pretty simple. Whoever drafts first, the next person drafts next. We just go back and forth until the teams are complete. When we do the defense for the next segment, then that person that drafted second, the first time will draft first the second time, if that makes sense.
All right, Nick, this is up to you, I guess. There's a lot of pressure on you here.
All right. Do you have a number between 1 and 10?
I was just going to let Austin go first. But
Oh, no, man. Let's do this. Let's leave it up to the gods here. Brent, what are you picking for the number?
7.
I was going to pick 7, actually, too. That's crazy. Go ahead and give me 3.
Wow. On the money for 3.
Wow. How about that?
Off to a great
That's
start.
impressive.
All right. We ready to roll, Brent?
I think we're ready to go.
Okay.
I'm going to tell everybody about it.
Okay. So for my first pick, I am going to take Jimmy Smith,
Wow.
wide receiver, Jacksonville Jaguars, obviously.
How about that? Sheesh. All right.
Brent's already getting thrown for a loop.
I am thrown for a loop because I thought you were just going to go in order.
No, why would you go in order?
Well, then I'll take left tackle Tony Baselli.
Okay. Yep, I figured that was coming. I mean, are we at least on the screen or not? Or should I write
They're
these
not
down?
going to be on the screen.
Okay.
I'm going to write them down. I'm going to write them down.
Then I'm writing them down.
I don't
as
know what
well.
kind of operation you think this is, but it's kind of a small
Well, hey,
operation.
man, I kind of gave the word yesterday, but I got it, man. Okay.
Then you didn't pay anybody to do it.
No, I feel you. I feel you. Next pick, I am going to take wide receiver Keenan McCardell.
Wow, you're going heavy on the receivers, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I will take Fred Taylor.
Okay. I mean, I can just take him later, obviously. Next pick, I am going to take right tackle Leon Searcy.
Ah, good call there. That was good. I am going to take center Brad Meester.
Yeah, I figured that was coming. All right. Left tackle Maurice Williams.
Oh, you're going with Mo on the left side.
I mean, I got
It doesn't matter. You can just
Yeah,
go two
yeah,
ta-
yeah,
I think
yeah,
just
yeah.
going 2 tackles. is
Yeah,
good.
I mean, only guy to ever start 100 games for the Jaguars.
Yeah. I'm going to go guard Vince Manawai.
I think actually Brad started that me too. Okay. Good call. All right. Did I pull the trigger yet? Let's go guard Uche Nwarni.
Yeah, Uche. That was. It's interesting going through some of this that Uche really slides up the chart on guards. Like there's really not a long list of guards. That was one of them. Once we get through this, we'll dissect some of it too and talk about it. But because of that, I'm going to actually go Chris Naoli. Man, am I building an offensive line here in Jacksonville?
Quarterback Trevor Lawrence.
Okay, you going Trevor?
Yeah.
You said Uche and then Trevor. So where are we at here? Let's just double check. We got we're only doing one running back.
Correct.
We got 2 wide receivers.
Yep.
You're to get your 2 wide receivers.
Yep.
I'm going to go. I wanted to try this. Should I wait? I guess I'm getting down to it here sooner or later. I'm going to go with Mercedes Lewis.
Okay.
Because he can do both. I really thought about, I'll let you know. But
Yeah,
later.
for sure. All right. You took Mercedes. I mean, okay, let me go get my offensive line short up here, and I'm going to start focusing on some other things.
We should.
Guard Ben Coleman.
Interesting. Back in the day, right?
Yeah.
It's funny, that's another thing. I mean, you look at those lines and just like names don't pop out. But they got the job done, man.
They did.
It was like in that 90, that was a kind of a hodgepodge of sorts, but they were able to get the job done. So, I'm going to. This is where I get stuck a little bit. I'm going to go outside the box here.
Okay.
For my tackle.
Okay.
And I'm riding with the young man, Anton Harrison.
Wow. Okay. All right. Let's go.
We got Searcy off the board. We had Mo Williams off the board. There were some other options, but I'm going with Anton Harrison.
Okay.
I'm buying into a big career.
Wow.
For Anton
Investing
Harrison.
big time.
Yep.
Kicker, Josh Scobie.
Okay. You got Scobie. Who'd you have after Trevor? Ben Coleman.
Ben Coleman.
Josh Scobie. I guess I got to get some receivers here.
I would.
Justin Blackman.
Yeah. I mean, if you get him in his prime, absolutely. If he's playing the Houston Texans, yeah, absolutely. Obviously, running back, any Maurice Jones-Drew.
You took Trevor, so I'll take, obviously, Mark Brunell.
Okay.
Do you want to know where you're at and what you have left?
No, I'm good.
You know where you're at?
Yeah, this is all playing out like I planned it to already, Brent. Tight end, go ahead and give me Evan Ingram.
Okay. You got Mo as a tackle, right? Just to make
Correct,
sure.
yes.
QB, guard, kicker. I got Brunell. You got. I'm going to go with punter Logan Cook.
Oh, well, he's the defense.
Oh, we're doing defense.
We're doing,
my bad.
yeah.
Well, then
but hey, now I know where Brent's going with the punter.
Mike Hollis.
Okay. Yep.
You know what I almost did there?
Brian Anger.
No, for a kicker.
What would you do?
Is Lambeau.
I was thinking about Lambeau.
Those 2 years for Lambeau
I know,
were unbelievable.
We're money. Yep.
But I think Hollis over time.
Yep. I think this is my last pick then. I have to take a center, so I have to go Brandon Linder.
It's funny. That's what I had Linder on there too. If you had picked,
do I dare just take Mitch Morris just out of good faith? No, we're good. I'll take Brandon Linder. But Mitch
good.
Morris, it better be you next year.
So you got 2 receivers, you got 2 tackles, you have 2 guards, you have now a center, you have a running back, you have a kicker, and you have a QB. I'm missing a receiver. I waited this long.
Yep.
To get receiver.
Wide receiver driven league, Brent.
I'm going to take Christian Kirk.
Okay.
Where else did you want me to go?
Nowhere, man. I mean, I was thinking maybe Allen Robinson.
He was on the list. Yeah. And again, these aren't number guys. Like we'll explain it, but it's a position that, okay, this guy set career marks or is on pace to for 2 years. He might be here for another 2, 3, whatever years.
Yeah.
Gives you a little bit of different look. Allen had a really nice year or two. Hearns did as well. You obviously got the top 2 receivers and went early on that. So,
all right, so should we list our players here quick so people?
Yeah, give us a brief little discussion, and then we'll go deeper dive on the offensive side before we get to defense.
Okay.
Of why you picked what you did.
Yeah, I mean, so basically what I was focusing on is the wide receivers I felt like were top heavy. So that's why I started out with Jimmy Smith and then Keenan. When it came to running backs, I mean, yes, Freddie T is definitely the guy, but I think Maurice Jones-Drew gives you a lot as well, as led the league in rushing. The whole NFL in rushing, as a running back as well. So, I didn't think I was going to miss much with not taking Freddie T there when I had Maurice Jones-Drew. Obviously, offensive line, you talk about Maurice Williams, Leon Searcy, some bruisers, if you will. I like my team. I like my team a lot. I think I have the best kicker in Jaguars history. I think Evan Ingram. I mean, I get Mercedes has done a lot here for Jacksonville, but the numbers speak for themselves. And Ingram, kind of set the record here for the tight end position in Jacksonville. And it came down to Trevor Lawrence and Mark Brunell. And obviously, Mark Brunell a lot more accomplished right now than Trevor Lawrence is. But I'm kind of just going off of, can he stay healthy? He's a right-handed thrower, so I like that a little better. So give me Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, and I think, again, the context is important here because you're not basically going off resume. I mean, you could just take the top 25, 30 players. Really, we would need 48 players to fill out our positions. But, I mean, I did something. I almost went with Lambo here, even though it was a very small sample, but I kind of stayed away from it. It wasn't long enough for me. Brunell and Trevor were going to be interesting, and we didn't go after those guys first. Which is kind of fascinating. And I beefed up my offensive line, obviously. I think the offensive line, this would have been a heck of an offensive line for the Jacksonville Jaguars, but with one caveat in Anton Harrison. I could have gone a couple other guys instead of Anton Harrison. I think that right tackle position has been very suspect for the Jags outside of Searcy over their franchise's history. I mean, heck, Jawan Taylor might be one of the most accomplished guys, stayed here for 4 years. I mean, you get 4 years in at right tackle, that's like, you're right there.
Yep.
So I'm picking Anton Harrison to have himself a nice career here in Jacksonville, be the guy of the future. And then I kind of did go off my one-off from a talent standpoint. I mean, Justin Blackmon to me is probably the 3rd most talented receiver this franchise has had.
Agreed.
Obviously,
honestly, he was on my list too. I mean, a former teammate of mine. I know how good he is, and if you take in the criteria of this game, I think that's a pretty damn good pick.
Yeah. So anyway, there's our picks for now. I'll read them down to you. Quarterback for me. This is my team: Brunell, Fred Taylor. Then at the receiver position, we got Justin Blackmon and Christian Kirk. The offensive line reads Tony Baselli, Chris Naoli, Vince Manuai, Brad Meester, and Anton Harrison. A little bit of a surprise pick. Mercedes Lewis at tight end, and our kicker is Mike Hollis. For Austin, QB Trevor Lawrence, wide receiver loaded. That'd be a fun matchup, right? Jimmy Smith, Keenan McCardell with Trevor throwing him the football. Offensive line is Leon Searcy, Mo Williams, Uche Nwaneri, Ben Coleman, and Brandon Linder. Running back Maurice Jones-Drew, and kicker Josh Scobie. So that's our draft of the offense. What does it look like on the defensive side? And break down a little bit more of the discussion. And also, part of this exercise is, man, where can the Jags get better? And how much does this football team have a chance, like the Josh Allens of the world and the Trevor Lawrences of the world, to really make their impact on the history of the franchise? We're talking 30-year history, throwback uniforms today, but there's a lot ahead of this franchise. I mean, in a way, you're like, okay, let's stop living in the past here, turn the page, and beat everything that used to exist.
No, for sure. Yeah,
part of the reason we remember, which is a great thing to do, remember the history of the Jacksonville Jaguars, but part of it is that was their most successful time. And you want a new successful time, so you can kind of put that one in the rear view a little bit, and we'll always remember and honor and respect and recognize. But it's time to get a new wave.
Yes.
And hopefully this is part of the new wave. We'll take a break. Brent and Austen Show from Best Bet St. Augustine. Give an update on Tiger Woods and the Open Championship, plus our defensive side of the ball in a fun little exercise today, a snake draft with the best team we could assemble out of the last 30 years. There's a look at those new unis. The players seem to love them. The fans seem to love them. Nice job by the Jaguars and getting this thing done here in 2024. They'll wear those uniforms with Tom Coughlin being inducted into the Pride of the Jaguars week 5 of the NFL season. That'll be only the second home game for the Jacksonville Jaguars here in Jacksonville after a tough little road start in this 2024 season.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%. You know I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer. You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
It's hard to put a price on comfort, especially when you use that comfort on a daily basis. But if we're going to put a price on it, how does the lowest price guaranteed sound? Furniture Source is going to have the biggest brands, whether it's Ashley, Casper, or Tempur-Pedic, and once again, it's going to be the guaranteed lowest price in Jacksonville. Right now, my friends at Furniture Source are going to give you the ultimate hookup because all month long, they're making their inventory wholesale price. Check out their markdowns up to 50% off. And remember, since it's Furniture Source, you're getting the guaranteed lowest prices in Florida or your money back. Don't have the cash on you right now? It's no worry. Shop endless options to suit your style and budget and enjoy 36 months off with no interest financing. Why use your money when you can use theirs? Whether it's beds, couches, tables, or chairs, Furniture Source is going to have exactly what you're looking for. Shop the lowest prices in Jacksonville guaranteed. Find the location nearest you at FurnitureSourceJacks.com.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From 1954 to 2024, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. That commitment includes a partnership with the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team as the presenting sponsor of all Armada men's and women's broadcasts this summer. Action Sports Jacks and Alive Credit Union, a partnership that just makes sense when it comes to covering Northeast Florida. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of our first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
Oh man, it is that time. I love being outside, but it is just so hot. Oh my gosh, I cannot be outside. Well, you know, it doesn't have to be. As a matter of fact, I've got the perfect solution for you to be able to stay outdoors and not look like this guy.
GW Outdoor Solutions has the solution that will help you create areas of shade with their automated retractable awning. As the summer months inch closer, the high temperatures will be right there too. With GW Outdoor Solutions, go from scorching to cooling in no time with one simple push of a button. These innovative shade solutions not only provide protection from the sun and rain, but also add style and functionality to your home. Let GW Outdoor Solutions transform your backyard into paradise. Check out GWOutdoorLiving.com for your free estimate.
New to town or always been in town, everyone is always looking for a good pizza place. Our place is Donato's Pizza. We love it and still do love it. When I tell my family I'm coming to Donato's, they say, wait a minute, you got to order some for us. So this is not all for me. Let me tell you what the Martinos get when we put an order in. Well, pepperoni pizza, we usually get more than one of these. And then there's the works, a little bit of everything. And then this is the pizza that can be polarizing for some out there. I don't know why. Hawaiian pizza, some love it, some don't. At Donato's, you're going to love it, especially with that cinnamon sprinkled on top. Try the pizza my family likes or try your favorite. Right now, you can use the code Brent20 and get 20% off your order. Every viewer and listener is important to us, and at Donato's Pizza, every piece is important. From fresh ingredients to the dedicated team members and you, the valued customer. Donato's Pizza, where every piece comes together for a winning combination. Jack's Beach and Mandarin locations, Donato's Pizza. Every piece is important.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hey, welcome back here to Best Bet St. Augustine. Brent Martin, Austin Lane, having a little fun today with a little draft of Jaguars yesteryear and current. It doesn't just say resume is what you need here to make our drafted teams. And, of course, it's hard to stack them too heavy because we're both picking different teams. And I think I heard Nick say he gave the offensive edge maybe to me a little bit. You didn't believe him.
I didn't believe him at all. I think he's just kind of stuck up to you a little bit. But
he did indicate probably something. I'm going to maybe pound the rock and be a little more physical with my lineup, and you might be a little more high-flying on the passing game with Trevor, Keenan, and Jimmy.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I felt like Leon and Mo were pretty physical themselves, but, you know. And also, Uche, keep in mind.
My offensive line is 20 times better than the Jags' offensive line.
Keep in mind, Uche was part of that offensive line, too, that helped Maurice Jones-Drew get the rushing title.
He was.
But, yeah, I got you. How are your receivers doing? Are they going to be on the field or not? You can be all right?
I think we'll be all right.
Health concerns, though, right?
Maybe some health concerns.
Okay.
But we're trying to hold it together.
Okay.
Brent Martin, Austen Lane, Best Bet St. Augustine. Again, come on out. Christmas in July here at Best Bet St. Augustine this time of year. Plus that golf cart that we've been showing you for the last really few months that it's almost over. You have until next Thursday to get in the game, and each hour of play that you have, you get essentially a raffle ticket to get your name in the drawing. And it not only giving away the golf cart, but also thousands of dollars in prizes next Saturday. You have to be here to win, though. So if you did play and enter, you make sure you book Saturday next week to be a part of the festivities. It's going to be a pretty wild day. The place will be packed, and there'll be a lot of winners and probably a lot of hooting and hollering for some of those winners along the way coming up next Saturday, July 27th. But you got to get in by a week from today. Let's get to the defensive side of things now for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I didn't even check the chat to see what people think so far. Let's see. Can you draft coaches? Urban Meyer in this draft? Just asking for a friend. All right, Joe. He likes your Jay Smooth, and they're just cheering on every time they see a name. Joe, no Matt Jones. That will not happen. Defense coming up in just a couple of moments here, and I think I get the first pick.
You do get the first pick
on defense.
Yep.
And I think for that defensive first pick, I will go Big John Henderson in the middle.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What do you got?
Jalen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll go Rasheen.
Okay. See, you stopped me. I was going to go back-to-back corners, too. You stopped me there, Brent. All right. Josh Allen.
All right. I'll go Tony Brackens.
Mm-hmm. Now we're playing this game, huh?
Well, it's kind of how it works.
Yeah, I don't have to. You have to. Okay, you got Tony Brackens, you said?
Yeah.
All right. I can come back then. Let's go ahead. Marcus Stroud.
Good call. I am going to go here. Let's make sure I just don't leave anybody out that I want to go. I'm going to go with my buddy Calais Campbell.
That was my next pick, too. You got me. Donovan Darius.
Good call. I was wondering how quick that was going to go off the board. Position that's certainly struggled at times here in the history of the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's going to be an interesting deal. I'm going Aaron Beasley, corner.
Puz, middle linebacker.
Taking Paul Puzzlesny at linebacker. I think now then I'll jump in that fray and make sure I got it right. I'm going to go Kevin Hardy.
Man, this is a little more tricky than the offense was.
Isn't it kind of wild that it is? But I think you have some more players in certain positions where you got to make some decisions, and then some that you don't really have a lot in.
All right, let's show up the edge. Yannick Ngakoue.
The edge and Yannick. I'm going to hold this one out because I think I'll have some options here. I'm going to start. I'm going to go with Darryl Smith.
Oh my god, that was going to be my pick. That was my next one too. Just beat it to that much, huh? All right. Well, then let me go ahead and make sure that. Hang on. All right. I mean, do you go Miles Jack? Miles Jack, linebacker.
I'm going to go Telvin Smith, linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Linebacker's been a deep position for the Jags.
If I need another safety, right?
You need, right now, I think I have you as needing a linebacker, a safety, and a corner.
Oh, safety, let's go. You can go a couple ways here with this. I mean, do I go with the guy that's been an all-pro? Yeah, give me Reggie Nelson.
Reggie Nelson, good call.
Yeah. I mean, I know he didn't do like the best here, but in totality.
Yeah, Reggie was interesting as I looked at him. I thought he actually was here longer and played, and then he went to Cincinnati. But Reggie Nelson's again, a position that's been pretty interesting for the Jacksonville Jaguars over time. So if I just have this right, 2 Ds, 2 defensive tackles, 3 linebackers, 2 corners, 2 safeties. I'll take Logan Cook.
Going with the punter, huh? Oh, man. I got Stroud, so put him at the 3. Give me a nose. You go pot roast, or do you go Marcel Daria? Give me Marcel Darius.
I was wondering what you're going to do there. I'm going to go Malik Jackson.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you got Big Hen, so that makes sense.
Yeah, there's a lot here. I really probably should go. I'm still going to go. I'm going to go Malik Jackson.
Okay. Cornerback, AJ.
That one might come with some criticism, and I'll tell you why. But
okay. Cornerback, AJ Boye.
Interesting. Boye. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that unbelievable year.
Yeah. That's what I'm banking on.
So, is that? Oh, no, I got safeties. I'm down to 2 safeties.
Yeah, you need some safeties.
Yeah, I do. I mean, you already have them, so I'm just going to take them. I'm going to take Cisco and Tayshaun Gibson.
Okay. Okay.
I like buying some of the young guys.
No, I hear you. You're yeah. What else I need, Brent?
You need I just did 2 picks, so you need linebacker.
Okay, I need linebacker. What else do I need? Because I have
punter.
Right?
I'm sorry,
punter. Oh, man. All right, go ahead and give me linebacker. See, you took all the good ones. I have Puz and Miles Jack.
You have Puz.
So
Miles
strong
Jack.
side, really, right?
Yeah, I guess.
However you want to put it. Give me. I know I'm taking forever
Mike
here.
Peterson.
Huh?
Mike Peterson.
I do got Mike Peterson.
You got Foyer.
Yeah.
I think that's probably.
Yeah.
I mean, unless somebody else is sneaking up, that might be.
You know what, man? I'm gonna go ahead and he's definitely. I'm taking Peterson.
Mike Peterson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a popular pick.
Yeah. And then punter, give me Anger.
Anger or Barker.
Yeah, I'm taking Anger.
All right. Seems like you're a little disappointed in your defense.
No, I mean,
I kind of like it, though.
I mean, I'll take Jalen Ramsey and Josh Allen. Josh Hines Allen.
Yes.
Stand corrected.
So you're here's your, let's go to the front. Josh Hines Allen, Yannick Ngakoue, Marcus Stroud, and actually, did you get another defensive tackle? Oh, you did. I must have missed it. You didn't pick Pot Roast. You picked
Marcel Darius.
Darius, yeah. So you picked Darius, and then safeties Darius and Reggie Nelson. That's good because that's a tough position.
Yeah,
linebackers are Puz, Miles Jack, Mike Peterson, and your corners are Ramsey and Boye. And then
not mad at it. Yeah,
no, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. The way it came together, it looked like there was a lot of doubt in your mind there, but
the linebackers were I was a little questioned with, and also you took Stroud was my plan in the get go, and I thought Darryl Smith would fall because he's like the most underrated Jaguars player of all time.
Not to me.
So when you took Darryl Smith, I was like, man, that threw me for a loop a little bit.
I got Brackens and Campbell at the end, Big John Henderson, and I went Malik Jackson. I think that could come with some criticism instead of like a Rob Meyer.
Yeah.
By the way, Gary Walker's another guy from a pass rush standpoint that's had a nice career. I think the pass rushers in Jacksonville are just better now. Kevin Hardy, Darryl Smith, Telvin Smith at my linebacker position. Rasheen and Aaron Beasley at corner. I think I did pretty well there. And Andre Sisco and Tayshaun Gibson at safety along with Logan Cook, the punter. I think he's going to go down as the best one in Jags history. So, yeah,
safety's Brent.
I tell you what, man, you look at this, right? And this is what's fascinating, again, about this exercise. And it's where the Jags have been or where they're going or where they're at. And defensive end, outside, I mean, you got Brackens. You have Schmeggy, I think, has 34 career sacks. I think Gary Walker, in a small amount of games, did pretty well. I think it was like 40 games or something like that, 40-something games, and he had 21 sacks, maybe it was. But it just has not been a deep position. They are more dynamic there than they've ever been. I mean, heck, Trayvon Walker won't take long, most likely, to jump in the fray of a conversation like this. It's too early.
Too early.
But Calais and Jan were able to do that. Calais did this in a 3-year sample. So Josh, Calais, and Jan, top 5 pass rushers in Jags history, and all have come since 2016.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing.
Wow.
Right?
Yep.
They could not fill that Bracken spot, even Schmangy. I mean, the Jeff Lagermans and Gary Walkers, they did it by committee. They weren't awful in the spot, but they didn't have a lot of studs in that spot. Linebackers, one where they've really had a lot of good players. We didn't even put Foyer on this list.
No.
And Foyer's establishing himself as probably one of the better linebackers in Jags history.
Can make an argument for him for sure.
Now, again, how do you want to run this, right? Is it strong side, weak side, whatever? Telvin Smith's an interesting one here, but, man, he has some unbelievable statistics. Tackles-wise, he's near the top of the Jags franchise list. He also has a bunch of interceptions. He, along with Rasheed Mathis, have, I think, the most defensive touchdowns in franchise history.
Okay.
Coming off interceptions with 3. I believe I saw that correctly. So, and then the safety spot.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, outside of Darius, who wouldn't be allowed to play in today's game.
Yeah.
And you also had Reggie Nelson, which was a good one. But again, Reggie is probably one of the better players that have played safety, and he's in a 3-year window, 3 or 4 year window. It's a very tight window. Had the one really good year, but outside of that, I mean, when I got to town, they were kind of like all over.
Oh, no, for
Reggie.
sure. And then he goes to Cincinnati, does well then goes to Oakland, I believe it was. That's where he had his all-pro nod and everything.
Is that where it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, dude's an all-pro. Like, that says something right there.
So, I think Mike P is underrated, and it's a good list. Marcel Darius, the Rob Myers of the world, the I think Malik Jackson was a really good player for them. I think you talk about underrated players. I actually think he was an underrated player in that window of time. For the Jacksonville Jaguars and part of that 2017 defense. I like your Boye pick. It was a one-year wonder.
Yeah, but I'll take a one-year wonder, especially as a 2.
But even there, they've got obviously it's Rasheen and Jalen, and Beasley very good. But outside of that, there's a lot more climbing to go. I mean, you get Tyson. Derek Cox actually is amongst some of the lead stats in Jags history, and he kind of was just okay. So safety and corner, the Jags have to beef up a little bit more. This used to be what we would say about defensive end. I think they have done it. Used to be what they say about receiver. I think they have done it. Now, will they get a Jimmy Smith is so far and away the best receiver in franchise history. Will they ever challenge that? I don't know. In today's day and age, how much things cost. Can you keep a guy for 5, 6, 7, 8 years to challenge? Like some of the team records? Like he might have the team records that are out of reach.
True.
Is Jimmy Smith. So anyway, here's what we'll do. We'll put this out there on a graphic or so, and we can see how you like our teams comparatively. Some that you might like, some you might not, some we might have missed. I think even in the punting and kicking game, I think Brian Barker's one that you could certainly put on that list. I think Lambeau's one that you can make a case for, especially the way he picked for a couple of years. And who else is going to get on this list for the Jacksonville Jaguars? Is ETN going to close in on some of them? Is he going to make us feel the way we did about Maurice Jones-Drew? Do you think he has that chance to do that?
I mean, I think if he keeps on the trend that he's going, absolutely. But once again, how long is ETN going to be here for? Because he essentially has this year and the next year, and then we'll see how it plays out. We know that the shelf life of running backs now is lower than ever, and in terms of contracts, the number is lower than ever. And when you have Maurice Jones-Drew, the organization knew just how special he was, and then they try to keep him as long as they could. Now injuries, and stuff kind of played a part, and then he goes to Oakland. But we'll see with Travis Etienne because there's no guarantee he's going to be here for the next 3, 4, or 5 years.
So, I mean, if you really look at the Jags' history, will anybody top the tandems of Jimmy and Keenan? Or will they always be number 1 and 2, or at least for the foreseeable future? And will anybody be able to bump out Maurice or Fred from that top?
I mean, it looked like the biggest comparison for the dual threat would have been Allen Hurns and Allen Robinson, and that was short. That was 1 year. That's going to be hard to top, because wide receivers are always kind of coming in and out. You just got a guy with Brian Thomas Jr., so you think he could be cemented here for a while. I mean, Christian Kirk, how much longer is he going to be in Jacksonville? So I just think that when you talk about Keenan and Jimmy, I mean, that's the gold standard. That's going to be the standard, I think, for a long time.
Any other positions like that with the Jags where it's going to be hard? Baselli will be hard to bump out of the left tackle world. Maybe it is. Maybe it's Searcy and Baselli. Can they get there? Where they have a nice combo, or somebody else is like, hey, this guy's now a 6-time All-Pro, and you start putting him in that conversation, and you can have that conversation.
Yeah, I mean, time will tell with that. I think you have a good guy right now with Anton Harrison, who shows that, as a rookie that he was ready to roll. The left tackle position, who knows what's going to happen there? Cam Robinson, Cam's
played a long time now.
He's played a long time, but, it's not even close to the quality of a Tony Baselli, but, still good nonetheless.
Somebody's asking one game for this, or would you be really more like a season, or what do you think? Like a season? How do you quantify this team?
Yeah, I would probably say for a season, right?
Yeah. Because I mean, again, the longevity of some of this is hard to tell.
When you draft, you're drafting for a fantasy football season, right? Yeah. So that's kind of how I picture it.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe the best way to put context is okay, if this team gets you to the postseason, can you go on a run?
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you hope that these teams could get you to the postseason the way they're built.
Yeah.
Now, are they good enough to go win it all?
Now, Blackman probably was not going to be there for you in the end, and that's unfortunate. Christian Kirk, let's keep those hamstrings nice and greasy. But, we'll see. We'll see what the audience has to say.
Yeah, this will be kind of fun. Where did you go? Where do you think you stepped out the most?
Well, the linebacker spot threw me for a loop because I thought Rashad was going to get Puz and Darryl Smith. That is kind of let the chips fall where they may a little bit. Because it is kind of, you do have an advantage, right? Like, say, I took Josh Allen, right? And then you took Brackens. Well, okay, well then, like, you know, like, okay, those are the two. So like, I can mind my time other places, but I want to make sure to get Donovan Darius because we talk about the safety position.
Yeah.
There's him, and there's kind of everybody else. And I want to make sure like I got the best possible guy at that position as well.
Well, you know, it was fascinating when we did this like in real time because it was. You're right. You went Josh Allen's, I went Brackens.
Yeah.
Right? Or if I go Stroud, Henderson, you can go Stroud.
Yep.
Or pretty shortly after. Or, you know, you went Jalen, I went Rasheen.
Yeah.
So, like but in the offense, we didn't do that. Like when you went Jimmy, I didn't go Keenan.
No, for sure. Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
And so it's interesting that it seems like there's a little bit more depth, if you will, in some of the spots, but especially on defense, where the linebackers, like you still end up with a good linebacking core.
Yep.
But if you were to rank in franchise history, I think my linebackers are probably better.
No, for sure. I mean, what I try to do too is I try to get the best possible guy at least at one level of the field. So, for instance, I think I have the best edge rusher in Josh Hines. Allen. I'm getting there. Josh, give him some time, man. So I think I have the best edge rusher with Hines Allen. Can you go back to the list quick? Because you had it up there. I was looking at it. No, you're good, man. I think I have the best safety in Donovan Darius. I think linebacker, you can make a case that I have the best linebacker in Putz.
Yeah.
You know, and I think at cornerback, I think I have the best cornerback with Jalen Ramsey. So I try to get the best player available or the best possible guy at least every level of the field. And I think I did that.
Yeah, that's a good call. Now it's debatable, but it's a good call.
Sure. What do you want to debate?
I would probably take Jalen. I just think the history and the legacy of Rasheen is so good at corner. I mean, you talk about him and everybody else. Statistically speaking, it is. Now, some of that's longevity, but even Jalen was going to catch him in interceptions, even if he stayed here for another 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
So, like the playmaking ability of Rasheen, and I'm not going to talk out both sides of my mouth. I think Jalen's the best player probably that ever put on a Jags uniform.
Of course.
I mean, talent-wise, I really do.
Yeah.
And I think I really like what you did with Josh Hines Allen because I believe he is like shortly going to be the best in franchise history. Mm-hmm. Maybe by October.
Yeah.
I mean, November. Yeah. Statistically.
He's already set a precedent.
But if you look at some of the other numbers, too, and what he does against the run, and if you break down his game and forced fumbles and the big play against Tennessee, and there's, from a dominant standpoint, and again, we don't have as much of a feel of Brackens. We know the numbers, we see the highlights, everything else, but, I mean, you have a real chance to do that. And I do think the linebackers, Puzz, I think a lot of people give him the nod as the best, but statistically speaking, Hardy and even Darryl Smith, from an underdog standpoint, I think will challenge him.
Okay.
In that regard. So it's a good conversation to have and a good debate. Those are our teams. We'll put them on a graphic at some point, either later today or maybe later in the show.
Yeah, it'll probably be 3 weeks from now. That's all.
Whenever I get verified on Twitter.
Yep. So
maybe that will be the case.
3 weeks from now. That's all good.
Let's take a timeout. Brent and Austen Show from Best Bet St. Augustine as we kind of celebrate the 30th season of the Jacksonville Jaguars with a uniform unveil and a little bit of a draft on some of the players that have been a part of the Jags history over the years and will continue to be this year in 2024 and years to come. The Brent and Austen Show live from Best Bet St. Augustine here on a Thursday. It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville.
It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air.
It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com.
Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com. And they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs.
Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Building off a summer of terrific action at Southern Oaks Stadium, the Jacksonville Armada are looking forward to the future and the return of pro soccer in Northeast Florida. Season ticket reservations for MLS Next Pro are underway, and for just $100, you can lock in some great benefits when it comes to supporting the boys in blue. Those who make a reservation will have first selection options in the new Armada Stadium out east, near Jacksonville's downtown sporting complex, as well as access to supporter VIP events like stadium tours, open training sessions, and future meet and greets with players and coaches. You can make your season ticket reservations at jacksonvillearmada.com/ticket. And while you're there, read the very latest on the Armada men's and women's teams in action this summer. Show your commitment to the fleet with an MLS Next Pro season ticket reservation at jacksonvillearmada.com/ticket.
In Northeast Florida, we love hanging out on the back patio, maybe grilling out lunch or dinner with the family, enjoying the good weather, or maybe enjoying the big game on the TV. Or maybe your favorite team in town, the Action Sports Jags team. This is great, except for when it's really hot or the bugs start coming out. But what if you didn't have to worry about that? Titan Outdoor Solutions will make your outdoor area a comfortable spot, any time of the day, any time of the year. This makes too much sense. Titan Outdoor Solutions can give your home an upgrade. Customized pergolas, awnings, controlled shade, even retractable screens. The solution to beating the heat and the bugs and getting more use out of your home is Titan Outdoor Solutions. And this can even help prevent storm damage at your home. Living in Florida and living in your home is already good. Now make it great. Quality products, custom work, locally owned and operated. Visit TitanShuttersAndScreens.com or call 904-484-7580.
I was tempted.
It's more than just food. It's a tradition, a heritage. It's about my family and the smiles on their faces. It's about the flavor, the meat, the love, the community. Our community. Barbecue is who we are, and it's what we do.
Thank you for making Action News Jax the best in Jax and Folio's Best of Jax 2023. Best TV station, Best TV newscast, Best TV morning show. Chandler Morgan voted Best TV anchor. The Chief, Mike Burrish, voted Best meteorologist. And Brent Martineau voted Best TV sports anchor. And while you're on the go, Best news website and Best local blog, The Burrish Blog. Thank you for making Action News Jax local coverage you can count on.
It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access. Welcome to Spring Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence. You can bring your party or event to Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Strings, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. A full menu made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hey, welcome back here to the Brent and Austen Show. Brent Martin, Austin Lane, Best Bet St. Augustine, the place to be here on a Thursday. Been a lot of Fridays. We'll be back down here next Friday, actually, but try to Thursday this time around as we continue to hit the road in football season. Jags camp gets going on Wednesday. Players report tomorrow. Rookies and quarterbacks will be on the practice field a little bit this weekend. Veterans come in on Tuesday, and it's on, baby. We will have a lot of football coming up for the next 6 or 7 months here in Jacksonville, which is always a lot of fun, a lot of anticipation, some downtime, some vacations, and all the rest. But football is on the horizon, and the Jaguars think they have a really good football team. We will find out just how good it is. The uniform unveil is being received very well. Even a lot of former players. I just saw Jadon Mickens jump in. Like, I got to get myself a number 85. Christian Kirk jumped in on the conversation. Josh Hines-Allen. Matt Overton, former long snapper. And by the way, in the chat, we said, what about long snappers and holders? We need those guys on this list that we just made. We did not draft long snappers and holders. Apologies. YB400 said Austin's good at grabbing good players. I think this was at he liked your offense.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Duval TV, kind of crazy, saying that when you haven't won a Jags for like 10 years. I don't know what he was talking to. I think he was referring to another comment. Okay. Somebody was cheering me on at a moment.
Burner.
I don't know which time. Burner account. Joe. My name is Joe.
That's a burner's name.
I think YB wanted Darryl Smith, Mike Peterson, and Telvin Smith as a trio.
Yeah.
That could have been good. I got Darryl and Telvin. And we mix Kevin Hardy in there as a linebacker. Let's see what else we got. Going first is an advantage. I would say, yeah, it was. Especially as on the Jags. I think more so on the offensive end, because the difference between I'm pretty. You got Jalen, okay, but I'm pretty good with Rasheed.
Sure.
There's no equivalent or close to equivalent for Jimmy Smith.
No, for sure. I mean, you got Henderson, I got Stroud, you know.
Yeah. So I think that certainly was advantageous. Let's see what else we got. Travis is amazing. The fact that he came back from Liz Frank, absolutely incredible. You know, it's really kind of a forgotten storyline. He missed that whole first year. And he is, listen, I continue to say he's very underrated, so much so that we have commented and continue to look at and talk. And I've now seen this in some articles and other things. If you look at Christian McCaffrey's numbers in the first couple of years, like his first 2 full seasons, and you look at what the Travis Etienne has done in his first full seasons, you start getting very comparable. And even some statistics of McCaffrey's last couple of seasons, which have been so dynamic, some of the metrics even marry up with the likes of McCaffrey from Etienne. So can he take it to another level? I think Etienne's fascinating here. He has a real chance to, I think, join the elite in the National Football League. Forget about just Jacksonville for a moment. He has a chance to join the names like Kamara was on a run. Now McCaffrey and what he's doing. I'm not saying trump those guys. I'm just saying join the conversation of the elite backs in the National Football League this year, because if you do it for 3 straight years, now you're cooking.
No, absolutely. But I just wonder if the usage is going to be there now with Tank Bigsby.
Yeah, that's a fair question.
Easy, because obviously Christian McCaffrey, it's Christian McCaffrey's show. Alvin Kamara, that's all they got in New Orleans right now. Saquon, when he was healthy, that's all they had. So when you talk about these bell cow backs, it's really just the usage, right? And if you look at, for instance, a team like Detroit, Detroit was pretty good at running the rock. Well, they kind of had a thunder and lightning combination now going forward. And what's the dude's name? The running back from Alabama they got? The receiving running back.
Who got?
The Detroit that they got last year.
Oh,
the rookie. Snow? Was it Blake? No.
No, the guy they picked in the 12th overall.
Yeah.
He wasn't an Alabama back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everybody's like, why are you taking him?
Yeah, I mean, I'll look him up quick, no worries. But, yeah, when you have that kind of guy, you have Jahmyr Gibbs.
Gibbs, yeah.
Yeah. Where's he from?
He's not out of Alabama.
Yeah, but George, no, University, he's from Alabama.
He was an Alabama guy?
Yeah. Yeah, Alabama.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jahmyr Gibbs. So when you have a guy like that can as good as a receiver, and now he's probably gonna have to get a little more reps in terms of running between the tackles as well. With Travis Etienne, he is your Alvin Kamara, but we know Alvin Kamara is the best version of himself when you have a power back to couple with him, and you have a guy in Tank Bigsby. So I get trying with the Christian McCaffrey comparisons and everything. I just wonder if the usage is going to be there. It's ideally the usage won't be there.
Yeah.
Because you want a little bit of a thunder and lightning with Tank Bigsby. But Tank Bigsby also has to take a big step going forward as well.
Okay, and I've heard you say, and I hear you. I hear what you're saying, but I want to just check something out. When Mark Ingram had his good years in New Orleans, would have been 2016, 2017. He had over 1,000 yards in each of those seasons, all right? That 1-2 punch with Kamara.
Pretty good.
2016, 2017. And let's look up Kamara real quick in that same sentence. Okay, so it was just 17 that he got him. It wasn't a combo.
Sure.
But 16, Kamara wasn't there. He was just there in 17. That year was over 1,000 yards for Ingram rushing the ball. Kamara was 728.
How many touchdowns?
He had 8 touchdowns, but his receiving yardage was 826 with 5 touchdowns. So his total yards was 1,600 and 13 touchdowns. And Ingram had 1,000+ yards. So what I think is a little bit different here, if you want to go the kind of that dual back system, and we're going to play that power and speed game, and Bigsby's going to be a bigger role of it. Regardless, Etienne's going to get the ball more. So Bigsby's not going to be the workload back like Ingram was that year.
No, agreed. But even then, you can make an argument that year was sort of 17.
That would have been 17.
Okay, in 17, Alvin Kamara was clear cut the better running back, even running between it. What was his yards per carry?
6.1.
Yeah, 6.1. 6.1 yards per carry and I assume Ingram wasn't even close to that.
Some of that, though, because you have the limited carries, right? You got 120 carries.
Yeah, but the dude, 120 carries is still a pretty good amount.
Good, but he would go on to have 250, 60
sure, of course.
carries.
But my point is that they knew they had a guy in Alvin Kamara. If you want to give him the ball and just make him the bell cow every single time, you could have, but they didn't, because once again, I think they enjoyed using that different kind of look with the bruising running style of Mark Ingram, and then obviously the Alvin Kamara as more as a slasher and great in the backfield catching the ball as well.
But tell you what, they could run the ball in 17, man. He had 4.9 yards an attempt that year.
Mark Ingram?
Yeah,
that's pretty good too.
So 4.9 and 6.1. Why did they ever throw it?
I know, man. Yeah.
And he only had 230 carries that year. So he had 230 and Kamara had 120. But I see what you're saying. I like it'll be interesting to see that balance, but the production can still be there in a variety of ways, whether it's catching the ball or maybe you're just fresher legs, so each carry is worth a little bit more
for sure.
for Etienne.
Yeah, if I'm Doug Peterson, I want to see Tank Bigsby get, maybe 15 to 20 carries a game. Now, he's got, like I said, he's got a lot to prove because last year just wasn't it. So if they can trust him, if he can have that vision, if he can find the holes and get the yardage, then yeah, you're going to have a 1-2 combination. But until that time, it's Travis Etienne show.
So just to punctuate this point one more time, okay? Last 2 years running the football in the National Football League, Derrick Henry has had 2,700 yards. Christian McCaffrey 2,600 about, Josh Jacobs 2,458, Saquon Barkley 2,274, Etienne 2,133. Obviously, McCaffrey is so heavy on the receiving end. In that same span, he's had 1,300 yards receiving, which blows anybody else away. But Etienne is second on that list, or third on that list to Mixon. But he has more rushing yards than Mixon. So it just... even touchdowns, 16 rush touchdowns and just 1 receiving touchdown for Etienne. So he's already in the conversation. Yeah. The point is, okay, Derrick Henry, is he going to do as much? So if we have the same conversation at the end of this year, is he going to have better numbers than McCaffrey? No. But he could overtake guys like Henry, maybe even Josh Jacobs in this conversation. We'll see how Barkley does and stays healthy in Philadelphia. He could be right there. Other guys behind him, Najee Harris, Tony Pollard, Kenneth Walker, Raheem Mostert, Joe Mixon, James Conner. So maybe somebody has a big year and catches him. Mostert obviously coming off a ridiculously good season for the Dolphins. So, I just wonder about that. It's like he could really step into the elite with that. And we're going to get to a break. We're up against it a little bit today, or at least in this hour. When we come back, who else could? Who else could get to that third-year sample and now be amongst the elite in the NFL if they're already not? Who do we put in that category if they have a really good season this year for the Jacksonville Jaguars? I think Etienne might be prime candidate number 1, but I think they actually have a lot of candidates here. If you look at the last 2 years, statistically speaking alone, impact on football games, maybe even accolades from Pro Bowls to other things, I think the Jags have a lot of candidates here that you could buy into if you go on a 3-year run. A 3-year run in the NFL makes you pretty much, put you in the upper echelon at the very least, if not elite. Let's do that when we come back. The Brent and Austen Show, live from Best Bet St. Augustine, talking more Jags football inside a week until camp and 1 day away from rookies and quarterbacks reporting to Jags headquarters.
New to town or always been in town, everyone is always looking for a good pizza place. Our place is Donato's Pizza. We love it and still do love it. When I tell my family I'm coming to Donato's, they say, wait a minute, you got to order some for us. So this is not all for me. Let me tell you what the Martinos get when we put an order in. Well, pepperoni pizza, we usually get more than one of these. And then there's the works, a little bit of everything. And then this is the pizza that can be polarizing for some out there. I don't know why. Hawaiian pizza, some love it, some don't. At Donato's, you're going to love it, especially with that cinnamon sprinkled on top. Try the pizza my family likes or try your favorite. Right now, you can use the code BRENT20 and get 20% off your order. Every viewer and listener is important to us, and at Donato's Pizza, every piece is important. From fresh ingredients to the dedicated team members and you, the valued customer. Donato's Pizza, where every piece comes together for a winning combination. Jack's Beach and Mandarin locations, Donato's Pizza, every piece is important.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From 1954 to 2024, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. That commitment includes a partnership with the Action Sports Jax 24/7 team as the presenting sponsor of all Armada men's and women's broadcasts this summer. Action Sports Jax and Alive Credit Union, a partnership that just makes sense when it comes to covering Northeast Florida. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of our first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
Burgers or breakfast, you can get it all at Whataburger. Try something new on the menu or an all-time favorite like the Whataburger Patty Melt.
And now you can have breakfast here at Whataburger 12 hours a day, 11 p.m. until 11 a.m. Menu items like the bacon taquito, sausage taquito, honey butter chicken biscuit. Whether you work the late night shift, just want a snack early in the morning to get your day started, or a little pick-me-up late in the morning. 12 hours a day, breakfast served, 11 p.m. until 11 a.m.
A dozen locations in Jacksonville. You can order pickup or delivery and download the Whataburger app. New rewards members get free Whataburger items when placing their first online order. Just download the app. And for us coffee drinkers, Whataburger has all new hot coffee and iced coffee too. Satisfy that coffee craving at Whataburger 24/7, and it comes in a variety of flavors. Burgers, breakfast, coffee, and so much more. Whataburger, just like you like it.
What started out as better people, better projects just keeps getting, well, better. That's Better Exterior Solutions, ready to help you create a better outdoor experience. Check this out. Motorized pergolas are the latest in technology to transform your outdoor space. Beautiful day? Let the sun shine through. Summer rainstorm? These pergola systems close automatically to keep the weather out. From residential to commercial uses, Better Exterior Solutions has products customized to meet virtually any existing architectural structure. With retractable awnings, screens, and hurricane shutters too, if you want unparalleled quality and expertise, you need Better Exterior Solutions. Get a free estimate by visiting betterexteriors.com or calling 904-902-4999. Better Exterior Solutions. Experience better.
We all have our favorite spots in town to eat, drink, and have a good time. And once in a while, we try a new spot. This new spot will soon become your favorite spot. It's 1937 Spirits and Eatery in San Marco. Where else can you get unicorn fish? It was really good. They have local fresh seafood. Try a terrific burger or a Jack's Hot Chicken sandwich. The ambiance is perfect for any occasion.
The idea here is to have fun, have a good time. Whether you're chilling out on the couches, cozying up to the bar, having lunch or dinner, it's a throwback experience. 1937, when going out to dinner was like going to a party. They even have a photo booth. Who doesn't like a good photo booth?
We recently brought the entire team out to try it, and everyone said, I'm bringing my significant other here to try it as well. The new spot becomes your favorite spot. Make 1937 Spirits and Eatery in San Marco your new favorite spot.
Welcome Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Welcome back here to the Brent and Austen Show. Brent Martin, Austin Lane, Best Bet St. Augustine, the place to be for our show here on a Thursday on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Got the full lineup coming up today. If you missed a week with us or a cup date, that's coming up right after our show. And same with Take Your Pick podcast as day one of the Open. Take Your Pick podcast, Stripe Show podcast. With a little golf talk on the Open Championship round one. Tomorrow we'll have After the Game. If you missed it with Joey Wiles this week, so Bobby Ramsey next week. You can check out YouTube for the entire playlist of that show. And the Young and Norvell show coming up later today at 4 o'clock on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. We'll give you an update on some of the golf, see where we're at. Tiger Woods got off to that good start. He was 1 under par through 3, and then he bogeyed and double bogeyed, so that fell off in a hurry for Tiger. Justin Thomas has been holding the lead since 8 o'clock this morning, and he continues to do so at 3 under par. The best round in the afternoon right now is 2 under par Xander Schauffele, and Jason Day's at 1 under. Brooks Koepka also at 1 under. And let's see if we can find where Tiger has slid to. And he's having to go down. It looks like he's not doing so well. Now at 4 over through 8. So get used to that's the Tiger that is probably going to be playing these events as discussed. And probably as prompted by Colin Montgomery to say, hey, why do you got to still play? Rory McIlroy, 7 over today. Not good. 5 over for Bryson DeChambeau. So we had some poor rounds at the Open Championship over there at Royal Troon. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane. We did our offense and defensive draft of the 30 years of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And maybe be able to give you that in graphic form before the end of the show. And see what you like the best once we lay it all out there on a good-looking graphic. The thing that we were just talking about is Travis Etienne. With a year 3, he could really kind of push himself up to the elite in the running back rooms across the National Football League. I already think he's right on the verge. I think he's been really good the last 2 years, but I don't think the league does just yet. I think they have him on watch, but I'll continue to say he's underrated. So that's kind of where we're going with this topic. The Jags, Austin, have a bunch of guys that could get there.
Yeah, you're talking about that third year.
Yeah, third year of productivity, a third year of, hey, these guys have been doing it now. Third year of, hey, when you think of wide receiver, you think of linebacker, you think of X-player, you think of these guys, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think Evan Ingram's a guy. I mean, technically it's not his third NFL season total, but it'll be his third year here, correct?
Oh, yeah, that's a guy. That's a perfect example of it, right? I mean, Ingram, if you have the lists, he's on there. People aren't, the numbers aren't overly sexy with touchdowns and yards per catch and everything else. But if he has another year, let's just say he breaks the old franchise record once more has 75 plus catches, then you're going to be looking at how do you leave him out of a conversation? In a tight end league, that's pretty good.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, once again, I think if he was to match the total receptions last year, something's wrong, right? Because you have so many mouths to feed now with Christian Kirk coming back, with Brian Thomas Jr., with getting Gabe Davis, with Travis Etienne as a receiver as well. So, I think going forward, and if you look at Doug Peterson's successful teams of when he was in Philly, it's getting these guys more incorporated in the red zone. And I'm talking about Evan Ingram here, getting his touchdown numbers up a little bit. Like, I will gladly take 4 or 5 more touchdowns and 20 less receptions if it comes down to it. But Evan Ingram's he's a bigger body type of guy. Yes, you have Brian Thomas Jr., who's a bigger dude as well. But you need some more of those guys with the red zone threat. I think Evan Ingram, if you can scheme him up correctly, can be that red zone threat for you.
Yeah. What about Christian Kirk? Can he get on this list, even though he missed the tail end of last year? Career year, on pace for a career year. If he has a career year again, does he? Well, I already think he's on radar because of the way people kind of criticized his pay, and now they're saying, hey, man, this guy's delivering. What does he have to do to deliver and get into those kind of conversations as one of the top receivers in the game?
I mean, obviously, I think the biggest thing is just staying healthy going forward. I mean, I get injuries happen all the time, and I think he's a little bit of an afterthought of just how good he is because of said injuries last year. But if he can stay healthy, if he can be that reliable slot guy, I mean, it's still Trevor Lawrence's favorite target, until we're proven otherwise. He should pick up right where he left off before he got hurt.
What about Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah, I mean, there's, obviously got his contract now, so the pressure's off there a little bit. I mean, if he was to put together a great season, a monumental season, I mean, is that good enough to start putting him in the elite category? I think we got to see a little more first, but obviously he can put it to bed a lot of the haters, a lot of the, well, is he really elite? Is he that good? Is he generational with a good season this year?
Who else are we missing? Who else could actually get on that list? Foye Oluokun, is he already there? Even in Atlanta, he's been consistent for 2 years, and then the Atlanta stuff as well. But I thought his coming out party was more that touchdown against New Orleans on Thursday night. I think he elevated who he has been and is, and the name started to. He wasn't such an under-the-radar player anymore.
Yeah.
But I think he still could elevate his status.
He could still elevate his status. I mean, it plays a position where, I don't want to say he makes a lot of, game-wrecking plays, per se, but consistently getting guys lined up is what you want. And then I think a guy who could make a lot of game-wrecking plays in that defense is Trayvon Walker, where you talk about a guy who had 2-something sacks his first year, talk about 10 sacks last season. If he can build off that and give you, 13, 14 sacks in this year, well, then you're talking about a guy who might be, considered one of the best young pass rushers in the entire NFL.
All right, who are we missing? Who else we got? Anybody else? I mean, Trayvon and Josh is on that defense. Anybody else creep into that category? Can Tyson Campbell get there, or does he have to do it for a couple of more years?
He's got to do it a couple. I mean, because last year, once again, injuries even included. Last year, he fell off a little bit. So I think to earn the respect back, yes, he has to do it this year, and then you couple that with another good season, and all of a sudden you're getting back to Jalen Ramsey, who.
Yeah, Andre Cisco says real MBB, and this guy has been a guy on my radar too. I think that safety position is not one that, who are the best safeties in the National Football League right now, right? It's not a long list of them. They're not household names. I think guys like Jamal Adams tried to get there and kind of sputtered to get there.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. I'm not telling you that there aren't any good safeties. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying there are no Ed Reeds and Sean Taylors and, from Seattle, who was in the Legion of Boom defense.
Cam Chancellor?
No. Cam Chancellor would fit too, but even the free safety, he was the best in the league. It was him and then nobody else. Shoot. Can't remember it. I will.
Okay.
Because the Jags almost signed him, actually, to a deal. Earl Thomas.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you. I see where you're going. Yeah, you have Minka, Derwin James are a couple safeties that are still playing at a very high level.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as far as didn't Winfield just get paid a lot of money?
Yeah. And he's been very good. Statistically, he was awesome last year. So again, I'm not telling you there are bad safeties in the league. There's just not I think you can join that conversation maybe faster than anybody else. Any other position. I would assume offensive lineman, you could probably join that spot.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the Jags have good candidates there, right? Anton Harrison's too young, and I'm not sure Cam Robinson has enough pedigree right now to build up to establish him that he's got himself a contract, but I don't think people are floating around the NFL saying, hey, Cam's on the verge or has been or in the conversation as one of the best left tackles in the game. And they're not there in the interior either. In fact, it's going the other way for a guy like Sheriff. You could have done that a few years ago with Sheriff. So, but the bottom line is that's not bad. The Jags, if you could Trevor, Ingram, Kirk on offense, ETN, 4 guys. Defensively, Trayvon, Josh, Foye, Cisco. Maybe, again, might take a little bit longer for Tyson, unless he has just a unbelievable breakout year. That's pretty good. You got about 8 guys in that conversation. You got, let's just say conservatively, 7 to 10 guys in that conversation that can be, hey, they're amongst the best in the game. I would argue that Josh is already there. coming off 17 and a half, right? And his career, and he's on the verge of breaking the franchise record, and he got the big contract. Where I would probably not argue that Trevor is already there, but on the cusp. Everybody knows the capability. They were trying to put him there going into last year or halfway through last year, and it just feels like, never going to cross that line to now be in the constant conversation. He's back outside that fray, jumps into it rather easily. So I think those two guys are where they have it. But outside of that, I think you have a good 6 to 8 guys that could probably get into that conversation. If the Jags players do that, the Jags are going to be very good.
Of course. Yeah.
If they're able to do that, they're going to be very good, but they've got to perform. And they got to stay healthy. Probably the biggest thing to do in the NFL is stay healthy, because you bring up some of those names, even safeties. Like, I think Derwin James is a heck of a player, but kind of in and out and almost forgotten about a little bit with the lack of success of the Chargers, the injuries of the Chargers, everything else. Health is obviously a huge part of it. And that's where the Jags suffered quite a bit with Tyson Campbell, with even Trevor last year at the end. But ETN has done a good job of staying healthy in that regard. Who gets you excited the most going into camps in the National Football League outside of Jacksonville?
Outside of Jacksonville, like players? Are you talking about teams?
No, teams. What teams am I excited Houston's going to be a sexy pick. Detroit's going to be a sexy pick this year.
Yeah, okay.
Who are you trying to see what they did in the offseason, unfold in the offseason? Could be like, wow, this could be good. Like, I think the Chargers are an interesting one here. They put Harbaugh in the mix. How instantaneous can those guys be good with Herbert? Is Herbert going to take another step? Are they going to get the most out of him? Are they going to become more physical? They still do have a lot of their players. I know they don't have the receivers. They got rid of those guys.
Yeah. And then the running back, too.
Yeah.
Austin Eckler's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they got Gus Bus and...
Where did Eckler go? Did he go to Minnesota?
Eckler's in Washington, I think.
Is he?
Yes.
But I think the Chargers are going to get some eyeballs because of Harbaugh alone.
Yeah, if you're actually like, what teams am I intrigued by in terms of their off-season moves and what it could look like? I'm going with the Baltimore Ravens, of what Derrick Henry's going to look like now in that offense. I'm going the Philadelphia Eagles, who... once again, we're on the cusp, I think, of going to the Super Bowl last year. Just injuries towards the end of the season really stunted them a little bit. And now you really upgrade your position from DeAndre Swift, who was a really suitable back for them, and put Saquon Barkley in there with a divisional rival coming from the New York Giants. I like the Eagles. Those are probably the two that stick out to me.
Yeah, what's funny about the Ravens is I don't think we're going to see it until September, right? So they're not going to get me too excited going into camp. I think the Jets are very interesting because of Rodgers. What does he look like, right? Does he look old after missing a year and that injury, or does he bounce back and look kind of spry, if you will, and ready to go and invigorated, energetic? Listen, the guy's almost 40 years old. That can go in a different way. Yeah. So. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I think Minnesota's pretty interesting. You've got some weapons, and did they make the right pick in J.J. McCarthy? What's going to be the talk coming out of there? And then I think Chicago. How's that all coming together? Because on paper, Chicago looks like, if it wasn't a rookie quarterback and a team that had been bad the last few years, we might be talking about Chicago as like this sexy favorite to... be like Detroit or Houston or one of those teams. Yeah. There's just no proof that they can do it yet.
Yeah, a team I'll be kind of keeping tabs on a little bit as well, just from everything that's went down the past year and what it's going to possibly look like going forward is the Denver Broncos. Because you have a team in Sean Payton. Because keep in mind what happened with the Saints. Sean Payton comes in. They take a big gamble on Drew Brees, who had a shoulder injury. Drew Brees was all set to go to Miami. Saban said, well, you're not going to be the guaranteed starter. Drew Brees, I'm not going to Miami. Sean Payton says, we'll take the risk. We'll sign him. We'll give him all the money, and we'll name him the day one starter if he's healthy. And lo and behold, Drew Brees and Sean Payton were a match made in heaven, and Sean Payton built up the New Orleans Saints, and they won a Super Bowl, and they were a pretty formidable opponent in the NFC for years and years. Now you have a situation where Sean Payton goes to Denver. You bring in Russell Wilson, Super Bowl winner himself, didn't seem to mesh well with the Broncos organization, didn't seem to mesh well with Sean Payton. Sean Payton tears it all down. They invest now in a guy in Bo Nix, who, a lot of people seem to like, kind of a dual threat type of person. I can't wait to see what it's going to look like, because it was so bad last year for a bit. You surrender 70 points to the Miami Dolphins, one of the most embarrassing losses of all time, it seems like, in the NFL. And I think Broncos fans are willing to see, like, all right, Sean, are you going to turn this thing around? Like, what does your image look like? So I'll be keeping tracks on to see how Bo Nix is going to be, what Sean Payton's plans are, and, you know, is he going to build it up this year, or will it take a little bit longer? And how long will they deal with Sean Payton?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I don't know if I think they've been kind of under the radar, to your point, right? Like, I almost think you forget Bo Nix was drafted there, and who can he be? What can he be? What can Sean Payton make out of him? Obviously, a guy that's worked well with quarterbacks in the past. I mean, everybody knows the main headlines from the Dallas Cowboys to the Eagles, but I think they forget. It's hard to forget NFL teams because the stories are so prevalent all the time. But that's a good one. That's kind of like a hidden one. Where does that go? And it's probably not going to pop this year.
Yeah.
But you do start to get the squeeze on Sean Payton a little bit. I'll tell you the other coach that I think gets squeezed out here sooner than later if they don't do something maybe bigger than they've done, and I know it's been okay, is Mike McDaniel. He's been kind of like the cute guy in Miami, but if they don't take a step, I mean, this is it, right? They're all in on receivers. They're paying Tyreek Hill and Waddle probably for the last year here. They're going to be all in on Tua, we think. And I mean, you got to do something with that squad.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to do something with that squad, but keep in mind, we talk about Tyreek Hill as being the best wide receiver in the league because, well, Mike McDaniel's scheme proved that to him. We talk about Jalen Waddle being a really great wide receiver, getting all his money, well, because Mike McDaniel kind of schemed that.
Set him up, yeah.
You know, I mean, Raheem Mostert, I think, would be a third-string running back possibly on a lot of teams, was a fantasy darling last year because, well, McDaniel said so. Yeah. So I get what you're saying. I mean, there's definitely pressure to win a Super Bowl. You're spending a lot of money at the wide receiver position. I get all of that, but I also think in terms of, you know, their defense has to have the offenses back a little more, which, you know, I mean, it's the head coach's job to kind of overrun everything. But when it comes from an offensive standpoint, and yeah, you got to pay Tua, like, I don't think he's going to be on that hot of a seat quite yet. I think they give him a couple more years.
Yeah, those are all good things if you're a good offensive coordinator, but you still got to get the whole thing together.
No, for sure.
From Mike McDaniel. I just wonder if the shine comes off him a little bit if they can't make it. Not necessarily get fired, but
yeah.
I wonder if the shine, because they're pretty well invested.
I mean, going to the playoffs is a start, though. Didn't they go to the playoffs last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. It's got to be more.
Didn't they back them, kind of backtracked into the playoffs? It was.
Yeah,
they weren't hot down the stretch at all, right?
No, for sure. But then they had that one big win. Was it they beat San Fran or they beat Baltimore?
Yeah, it was on like a Thursday night or a Monday night. I think might have been Baltimore. But we'll see. I just wonder about it. Again, you're kind of looking for storylines that might emerge, and that might be another one. Pittsburgh's another thing. I mean, if this stuff doesn't work out in Pittsburgh, is the leash about to be a lot shorter for Tomlin? I know he's accomplished so much, but in Pittsburgh standards, what has he accomplished recently?
No, for sure.
And they're resetting it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility, but I still think, like, if I'm Mike Tomlin, I'm going, look at who you guys have given me at quarterback, and look what I've been able to still do with winning
He's got an argument.
Year in and year out. Like, give me a real quarterback like I had with Big Ben, and then let's watch what we do. But we have Kenny Pickett and company. It's just, not getting the job done.
Yeah, so obviously a lot of teams interesting to watch, and some of the storylines, and we know this. You can sit here and think you know it, but in the NFL you don't. So what's it really going to look like at the end of the day? We got some comments in the chat keeping up on a lot of the conversation here. Who was the best player in franchise history? I said Jalen Ramsey to me is the most talented guy to ever put on the uniform, and I think Duval TV said Jimmy Smith. Certainly you could argue that maybe is, right? And the records show that, the numbers show that. That's a one you can really support. And a lot of talk back and forth about some of the big players in Jacksonville history. Mr. Hugo says Vikings are interesting. Think Sam Darnold could have a career resurgence similar to Baker in Tampa Bay last season.
I mean, until JJ takes over.
What's this, like his fourth try?
Yeah, I know. I'm sure Casey Kurtz will tell you that he's going to be successful.
Yeah.
But
I wonder how long Sam Darnold will get until people are clamoring.
I think he'll get. I mean, he's playing in a quarterback-friendly offense with the quarterback, with the quarterback-minded head coach.
Pretty good weapons.
Like he can maybe have some success. And obviously, I think when you talk about McCarthy, like the goal is to try to bring him along slowly and acclimate him.
Let's take a time out here at Best Bet St. Augustine. Brent Martin, Austen Lane, Brent and Austen Show on a Thursday. Again, we're going to have a little Madden fun tomorrow, so a totally different show.
Not Madden.
I'm sorry, college football. Mm-hmm. I want to call every video game Madden that has to do with football.
Sure.
They've really done a nice job cornering the market on my psyche.
They really have.
But by the way, I hate playing. These guys will have some fun with that, we think. Nick's organizing it, so this is all on Nick. If Nick in the daytime doesn't get it done right, we're blaming him.
That's on him, man. Yep, Nick, the human enigma, as I call him. A lot of pressure on you tomorrow, Sean.
So hopefully he's able to get that done. For now, he's going to hit a commercial break. We'll come back, and we're live from Best Bet St. Augustine on a Thursday, the Brent and Austen Show. We'll have much more coverage, by the way, all day long on CBS 47 and Fox 30 of the Jaguars uniform unveiling, still to come throughout the day on Action Sports Jax.
Everyone loves a good game night. Here you don't have to be the host. You don't have to clean up. They bring the food and drinks to you, and you can watch whatever you want on the big screens. It's more than a card room. It's a night full of fun with friends. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now the newest location here in St. Augustine, right off 95 at exit 311. A brand new clean room, a full bar and menu, my favorite sushi in town. And I love the fries too. You don't have to just play poker at Best Bet. That's why I come over here to the table games and play one card poker. That's a pretty good card and a win. One card poker is like war as a kid, you against the dealer. And this isn't the only fun table game to play. A friendly staff, a lot of fun. It's a good night out at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the newest location in St. Augustine. You can be a serious player or a novice. It doesn't matter. If winning equals fun, you're a winner every time at Best Bet. I'll save you a seat, and I'll see you down here at Best Bet St. Augustine.
Oh man, it is that time. I love being outside, but it is just so hot. Oh my gosh, I cannot be outside. Well, you know, it doesn't have to be. As a matter of fact, I've got the perfect solution for you to be able to stay outdoors and not look like this guy.
GW Outdoor Solutions has the solution that will help you create areas of shade with their automated retractable awning. As the summer months inch closer, the high temperatures will be right there too. With GW Outdoor Solutions, go from scorching to cooling in no time with one simple push of a button. These innovative shade solutions not only provide protection from the sun and rain, but also add style and functionality to your home. Let GW Outdoor Solutions transform your backyard into paradise. Check out GWOutdoorLiving.com for your free estimate.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%. You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer. You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
It's hard to put a price on comfort, especially when you use that comfort on a daily basis. But if we're going to put a price on it, how does the lowest price guaranteed sound? Furniture Source is going to have the biggest brands, whether it's Ashley, Casper, or Tempur-Pedic, and once again, it's going to be the guaranteed lowest price in Jacksonville. Right now, my friends at Furniture Source are going to give you the ultimate hookup because all month long, they're making their inventory wholesale price. Check out their markdowns up to 50% off. And remember, since it's Furniture Source, you're getting the guaranteed lowest prices in Florida or your money back. Don't have the cash on you right now? It's no worry. Shop endless options to suit your style and budget and enjoy 36 months off with no interest financing. Why use your money when you can use theirs? Whether it's beds, couches, tables, or chairs, Furniture Source is going to have exactly what you're looking for. Shop the lowest prices in Jacksonville guaranteed. Find the location nearest you at FurnitureSourceJax.com.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville.
It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air.
It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com.
Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com. And they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs.
Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hey, welcome back here to Best Bet St. Augustine. Brent Martineau along with Austin Lane. And on the road once again, back in studio tomorrow. Again, we'll play a little college football 25 and maybe go through the reviews and what your favorite college team is doing and how they look in that game. I guess the reviews are pretty good so far, but the experts will take us through it. That's Austin, Nick, and many others, or some others. I don't even know how big this tournament is anymore.
Yeah, no, me neither. Nick, have we established, are we playing on PlayStation or Xbox?
Xbox.
Well, that wasn't brought up in the meetings. That wasn't brought in the email.
Does that make a difference?
Oh, Brent, does it make a difference? Yeah, I'm a PlayStation guy, man. I don't know the Xbox controllers.
So is that like a thing? Will you be way better at PlayStation than the Xbox?
Well, yeah, just because the controller is so different. The buttons are different and everything. Yeah. I mean, it's like playing Pac-Man or playing, something else.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah. Nick, I don't want to hear it. Okay? All I'm going to say is when Oregon stomps Tennessee 35-0, I don't want to hear any crying out of your corner.
Sure, okay. Whatever, buddy. Come on now.
Dude's confident, huh?
He's pretty confident.
Dude's confident.
He is very confident.
Dude's confident. Yeah,
I'm confident until
what
the game starts. Ain't no telling what's going to happen then.
What else can we find out about Nick today that we didn't know? Would you have considered him an Xbox guy or a PlayStation guy?
I mean,
is that an identity
there's not
thing?
really. It's not like a cell phone thing, Like to me, being an Xbox guy or a PlayStation guy, because it's so rooted in tradition and how you grew up. I don't judge either way. I mean, like I said, I'm a PlayStation guy. I always have been. A lot of my close friends have been, but I don't judge on that because I had one of my best friends from college was an Xbox guy, so I always played on the Xbox in college. But like, if someone's rocking a Samsung or a Google phone, Nick, do you have an iPhone?
Yeah, I got
of course you don't. You don't. Oh wow. Okay. So that's his one for one.
So you thought he'd be Samsung or something else?
I thought for sure he had like an old school BlackBerry or something that something like that.
With the stylus and everything.
Like a Nokia. Yeah,
the old brick.
Stylus.
Correct. Sitting there playing Snake back here. Let's go to break. Attention, playing Snake.
Snake was a good game, man. That was fun. Brent, you've always been an iPhone guy?
I've always been an iPhone guy. I'm sure, like when the early stage of before iPhone or whatever it was, I had
Motorola,
Nokia
was big.
Or something.
Well, you had the Nokias. You had the Motorola Razors was a big one.
Yeah, I didn't have a Razor.
Okay, I
knew that was a thing for a little bit. I never had a BlackBerry.
I had a BlackBerry for a bit.
You did?
Yeah, it was fun.
Gosh, that pad!
I felt like I was like a day trader or something.
It's probably worth something right now.
Yeah, it's like American Psycho, man. I was Patrick Bateman just pushing those buttons.
I want to guess something about Nick. Did you guys already do like food stuff with Nick? Like, do you think I'm guessing he's never had sushi.
I think we did. He hasn't had fish.
That's a good guess.
We've ventured into other stuff.
Yeah. So you've never had sushi before?
Nope. Only had fish once in my life.
Curious about it or not?
Sushi? If I can warm up to fish, I can probably experiment with sushi.
Yeah, you just strike me as a meat and potatoes guy.
Meat and potatoes guy? He eats chicken nuggets. What are you talking about, meat and potatoes guy? Chicken nuggets is on his menu.
Potatoes kind of guy.
Does he? Do you hunt?
I went a couple times when I was younger. I haven't in a while. Well over 10, maybe 15 years at this point.
A little too boring for you?
No, I grew up in a family that didn't do it a ton, so they're not very well mannered, trained, not very smart in it necessarily. Just me and my dad went a couple times.
Yeah. Something I still say I want to do just to see why everybody loves it so much. And I'm not hating on it.
You never hunted?
Never.
Yeah, I mean, as a kid when I was like super young, my grandpa would take me out like in, Wisconsin, deer hunting's in the middle of the winter. So it's like 10 degrees, maybe a little colder. And I'm sitting out there just like freezing my butt and we don't see any deer. Like it's kind of miserable as a kid, but I think as you get older, you appreciate it more. And not everyone wants to like shoot an animal, but if you eat meat, the meat comes from someplace. So I think there's something special about shooting the animal, respecting it, having to scoop the guts out and everything, and then cutting it up. And plus deer meat is very good, as they call it.
Yeah, I've eaten it. I've eaten venison many times. I mean, the guys at school would go and bring it back, and we'd have chili and stew or whatever else, and it was good. Mm-hmm. So I did like it, but I've just never been. But it's seriously one thing. I guess I haven't fully reached out to say, hey, let's go, or I want to go. But I've kind of hinted hey, take me hunting sometime.
Yeah.
Like Lagaman or somebody else, like somebody that goes all the time. I want to see why they love it so much. And I always use this analogy. It's like, okay, I like playing golf. Mm-hmm. But there are a lot of people that are like, why do you like playing golf, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it seems boring. Or it seems this or seems that. And I get that. I get that viewpoint. But some of us like playing golf. Some of us like hunting. Some like doing both.
Yes.
Fishing, I think, is in this category too. But fishing, I kind of get and I have done. Mm-hmm. I understand why people like to fish. I really do. It makes sense. I was just talking to somebody who went out on
bonding.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And that.
Take your kid out,
that chase, right? Yeah. I mean, depending on what kind of fish you're catching. The water's nice anyway. It's a peaceful place. It's a quiet place. Put the phone down for a bit.
That's the biggest thing, right? I mean, I think as a parent, you need any excuse to try to get your kids outside a little bit and just, like you said, put the phone down and just, have those life-to-life, heart-to-heart conversations. And I think fishing is a great way to bring out those conversations.
YB400... he doesn't understand Nick if he's never had sushi.
Oh, dude, I mean, this is Nick, man. This is what we're dealing with here.
It's not just Nick, by the way. Like my wife's never had sushi.
Really?
Yeah, but she doesn't want to try it.
It's 2024. I mean, I feel like
it's funny how normalized sushi is. Yeah. Like in our culture and society now. Yep. Mm-hmm. It just wasn't when we were growing up at all. Like that was I never heard of anybody eating sushi.
Yeah.
And I grew up around fish and seafood and everything else. I know that's a little bit different, but you'd think, why not?
Of course.
In New England or wherever else when you're eating near the water.
Yeah. I mean, I think just people are kind of open to more strange foods now than, 20 years ago.
Yeah, why? Is it the food shows that have opened people's eyes and appetites to that?
Food shows, I think just the evolution of food, yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm trying to think of something else, though, that is like that. Like, in the old days, liver and onions was a thing.
Oh, yeah.
And nobody would touch that.
Oh, I still eat liver.
Well, I know, but nobody wants
I got you, yeah.
I mean, is there any other food other than that? I mean, other than sushi, is there anybody that's climbed the ladder?
That's a great question. I mean, I've talked about this on the maybe I've talked about this might have been on the morning show, the whole cannibal sandwiches in Wisconsin. Did we talk about that? You know what cannibal sandwiches? It's raw ground beef, pepper, onion,
raw ground
on rye bread. It's
is that healthy for you? I would do that. By the way, if it's seasoned up a little bit, probably could do it.
You'd be surprised how. I'm not saying it tastes good, but everyone does it around the holidays. Like you can go to restaurants in Wisconsin and get cannibal sandwiches.
Okay.
Pick a different name.
Yeah, that's not a great
but that's what they call them. But
YB400 says asparagus has climbed up. That's a good call. I used to eat asparagus with my mom, like asparagus on toast. Yeah. And I was an outlier when I was like a kid. That's when I was real little. She did, and I didn't mind it.
You ate asparagus on toast?
Yeah. If you said that you ate asparagus, you'd be probably looked at with like four heads. You're right. You asparagus now, and some of the vegetables probably in general.
Yeah,
I'll give you another one. Mexican food. Mexican food when I was, 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
Yeah.
It's not that you couldn't get Mexican food or you didn't like it. but
Taco Bell.
But it's all over. I mean,
yeah.
There's a new Mexican restaurant popping up on every corner. They're like a coffee shop now.
That's fair, yeah.
You know? So if you talk about climbing the ladder of food.
Yeah.
The popularity, and I don't even know how you would measure this, but just by restaurant alone and venues. I mean, Mexican might be number one on the list.
I mean, I have it at least once a week. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I have it probably more than once a week.
Yeah, there you go.
Like, I don't turn it down either.
Yeah.
But I think, like, the sushi's still a little bit below that. Like, it's not as popular as, across some people just won't like sushi.
Nick, I thought of you yesterday, man. It was National Tattoo Day, and we had the conversation before on the show where, being the diehard, and when I say diehard, I mean that this dude has earned his stripes a couple times over again. Being the diehard Tennessee fan that Nick in the daytime is, we got on the topic one time about you getting your first tattoo, because, don't have a tattoo yet, human enigma, outlier, minority, but you talked about getting a Tennessee sleeve possibly. Have we given any more thought of who are we talking an arm sleeve or a leg sleeve?
Leg sleeve.
If you were to get one.
Yeah.
Oh, so Brent, that's I mean, leg's bigger than arm, you know what I'm saying? So it's going to be a lot of ink, a lot of people. What would you fill in then with your leg sleeve? I mean, you got to throw Pat Summit in her pantsuit on there, correct?
Yep, correct.
Okay, so you can throw in Pat Summit.
General Neyland.
Peyton Manning.
Peyton.
Who's General Neyland?
Neyland Stadium.
Oh, okay.
Robert Neyland. Yeah,
hold up. Wait, are you going to put the stadium or are you going to put like the actual... So you're going to put the general on there?
Sure, yeah. Yeah.
What does he look... I mean, is he like just an old-looking dude?
Yeah.
You got the...
What do you mean?
So you got the logo, of course.
But hold up, Brent. You can't put just a random old dude on your leg and know that it... Like,
yeah, nobody would know who it is.
Yeah, he knows who it is. I wouldn't.
Why don't you do this instead? You could put like
Smokey. You could put Smokey on there, right? The dog.
You could. But what about if you just? What if you did like a little wrap around the leg of the stadium, and it said Neyland Stadium on it?
So like
instead of the
like around his whole leg?
Like either the thigh or the calf or something. So you just see like the part, almost like a panoramic picture.
Sure.
If you will.
Yeah.
That kind of wraps around. That does the Neyland Stadium. And then out of that, you would then build that around like the Peyton Mannings and Smokey the Dog and the Tennessee logo and maybe even Pat Summit, even though she's basketball, not football. But
well, yeah, I mean, it's Tennessee, though.
It's cool. And Tony Vitello's going to be on there now.
Oh, my gosh.
Who's Tony
really?
Oh, I got you.
Baseball coach.
Yeah, baseball coach.
Yes.
I get it. You're not a big
Amazing.
fan.
Vitello shouldn't be on.
Okay.
Well, I'm okay with Vitello, but I don't think he's reached tattoo status yet in Tennessee.
He brought the first one to the team. I mean,
he did.
He got one. Now, I wouldn't put Philip Fulmer on there, so maybe there's a little bit of, a little contradictory, but yeah.
Can we get Reggie White on there?
Vitello. Oh, Reggie's going to be on there.
Can we get... Oh, Reggie's on there.
Yeah,
got to have Reggie on there. Nice. Now we're starting to fill it up, Brent.
Maybe Eric Berry.
Yeah. Eric Berry's a good one.
I mean, dude, Eric Berry was one of the best teammates I ever had. That guy was an assassin.
Oh,
I thought he was going to be like...
played with him in KC.
Hall of Fame good.
I know, so did I. He got sick, though.
He did, yeah. He's
leukemia?
A bunch of... I think he did. I think it was leukemia.
But he was kind of like the... It's crazy with all the great players that were on that defense. You had Tamba Ali, Derek Johnson was on that defense. Justin Houston was on that defense. But Eric Berry was like the vocal leader, and he always had a thing before every single game. He would rally the whole team around him. He'd be in the middle, and he'd go... We have to repeat him. So he'd go killers, heat seekers, trained assassins. So he'd go killers, we go killers. Heat seekers, and trained assassins. Then he'd go, you want some? Come get some. We had to repeat that. And like, dude, I've never been swept up my entire life.
Yeah.
Like the first preseason game, he's breaking that down. I'm like, oh, it's different here.
I remember you telling us that over the years, he was a really good leader.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So,
dude bodied up Gronk one-on-one.
Listen, he ended up being a good player. I just thought he was going to be...
Same.
And I even, again, it's hard to say, right, because he did get sick and that derailed some things, but I'm not sure he was on the track that I thought he was going to be on anyway. I think he was a really good player. I don't know if he was on the greatness list, but maybe he was going to track there over time. Eric Berry. So someday we'll see the tattoo of Nick and what he ends up being.
Yeah.
It is going to be Tennessee. Maybe should he sprinkle some orange color in there?
Oh yeah, you gotta sprinkle some burnt orange color in there, and it'll be a good competition to see between his tattoo and then a Hamby sleeve tattoo that he gets with Kirk Cousins as well somehow.
Hamby's going.
It's gonna be Kirk Cousins in a Georgia jersey.
Hamby's got a potpourri, right? He's got Cousins in a Georgia jersey with UCF and somebody wearing a hat backwards.
There you go.
And probably a math equation along the way.
Of course, exactly.
That's what we should do. Or
What's
you
that?
should really do it, but I could help.
What you got?
They have like architects to design houses and stuff.
Sure.
We should design and help people kind of design their tattoo and what it should be. You take the elements and then we kind of.
I mean, that's kind of a tattoo artist's job too. But yeah, we
do
they
do that? Do they give insight?
So, for instance, like my back piece that I have, it's everything from back home that reminds me of Wisconsin. So. It's like 10 I sent my tattoo artist, I sent him like 10 different pictures.
Okay.
And I said, these are all things that remind me back home. Do something with it. And he constructed it, put it all together, and I couldn't have been happier with how it turned out. But I was like, okay, put this here, and people share different philosophies. I always think that if you get a tattoo, take the advice of your tattoo artist. Because so many people want things done a certain way and to look a certain way, but they've been doing it for how long?
They've seen it all.
They've seen it all.
Or most.
So, if they're good enough, if they're decent at least, they're going to set you in the right direction. So, basically, all I did was I sent them the pictures and said, whatever you want to do with it, I trust you. That's what it is.
All right.
Yeah.
That's what I do to the graphics department. I just think, here's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Just make it look good.
Just make it look good for me, please.
Marcel,
Yes.
I'm saying that to Marcel now. I'm hoping he's putting a graphic together. Here's the stuff. See what it comes out like. And then you're usually pleasantly surprised. I have no expectation.
You definitely
are. One more time out to take from Best Bet St. Augustine, Brent Martin, Austin Lane, Brent and Austen Show as we get ready to finish the final week before football begins. Here in Jacksonville. Action Sports Jacks primetime coming up this weekend, 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:30 on CBS 47. So make sure you join us for that. We'll have a lot of football conversation as the Jags actually hit the field with rookies and quarterbacks. And we'll take you all the way through the fall. Each and every Saturday and Sunday, we take you even through the slower times on Action Sports Jacks primetime. But this week, we're going to get you set for the start of the 2024 NFL season with Training Camp 24 around the corner. And don't forget, we also have First and 10 Training Camp each and every night starting next Wednesday. So the coverage is set to begin. That'll be the first show we roll out for our fall lineup. Many more to come over the next couple of months. Same goes here for the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
We all have our favorite spots in town to eat, drink, and have a good time. And once in a while, we try a new spot. This new spot will soon become your favorite spot. It's 1937 Spirits and Eatery in San Marco. Where else can you get unicorn fish? It was really good. They have local fresh seafood. Try a terrific burger or a Jack's Hot Chicken sandwich. The ambiance is perfect for any occasion. The idea here is to have fun, have a good time. Whether you're chilling out on the couches, cozying up to the bar, having lunch or dinner, it's a throwback experience. 1937, when going out to dinner was like going to a party. They even have a photo booth. Who doesn't like a good photo booth? We recently brought the entire team out to try it, and everyone said, I'm bringing my significant other here to try it as well. The new spot becomes your favorite spot. Make 1937 Spirits and Eatery in San Marco your new favorite spot.
What started out as better people, better projects just keeps getting, well, better. That's Better Exterior Solutions, ready to help you create a better outdoor experience. Check this out. Motorized pergolas are the latest in technology to transform your outdoor space. Beautiful day? Let the sun shine through. Summer rainstorm? These pergola systems close automatically to keep the weather out. From residential to commercial uses, Better Exterior Solutions has products customized to meet virtually any existing architectural structure. With retractable awnings, screens, and hurricane shutters too, if you want unparalleled quality and expertise, you need Better Exterior Solutions. Get a free estimate by visiting betterexteriors.com or calling 904-902-4999. Better Exterior Solutions. Experience better.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
The friendliest golf course in town, the Golf Club at Southampton. Local golfers have no shortage of options when it comes to picking a course to play here in Northeast Florida year-round. Yet time and time again, I find myself here at the Golf Club at Southampton. Easy to get to off 210 in St. Johns County. It's family-owned and operated and renowned for being one of the area's most player-friendly. That's just one of the reasons we hold the Action Sports Jacks Dream 18 charity golf tournament here each fall. The Mark McCumber design layout is great for all skill levels of golfers, from the guys who bomb it a mile on the range to golfers like me who are just happy to put it in the fairway, which Southampton has very accommodating fairways. And if you need new clubs, come down to the ProShop. They'll fit you up and get you a nice new set like they did for me. For more information on membership or to book a tee time and see for yourself, head over to golfsouthampton.com or call the clubhouse at 904-287-7529. The Golf Club at Southampton. It's the official home of the Action Sports Jacks Dream 18. Make it your home for golf too.
It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access. Welcome to String Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence. You can bring your party or event to String Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Strings, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. A full menu made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. String Sports Brewery in Springfield.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
Well, putting a bow on the show here in just a few minutes. Brent Martin, Austin Lane here at Best Bet St. Augustine. Once again, got Christmas in July going on here at Best Bet St. Augustine. The golf carts will be given away next Saturday as well. So you still have a week to get in. You play an hour. You kind of put yourself in the mix for that really nice golf cart we've been showing you, and also other prizes on Saturday, July 27th. That alone is right here at Best Bet St. Augustine, so that's the only place you can find it. It will be a fun day to kind of end the month of July and really this 3-month promotion. Look at that bad boy. That's going to be a good one. Fairway to a Fortune. You can just put your name in multiple times. The more you play, the more you enter, and you have a week to do that before the drawing comes up. But so many festivities going on here at St. Augustine, also in Orange Park and in Jacksonville, as well at Best Bet across the Jacksonville area and in Northeast Florida. We have been talking a lot about football, but let me give you an update on the scores at the Open Championship. I'm almost afraid to look at what Tiger Woods is doing. Shane Lowry, 3 under through 10 holes, so he has now matched Justin Thomas for the lead, so that's an update. Brooks Koepka playing well, along with Xander Schauffele at 2 under. They're still playing out on the course in the afternoon wave over there. I think the weather's okay by Open Championship standards. I haven't watched a lot of it, but I think it could get bad this weekend in terms of rain. I heard Saturday is going to be a tough weather day over there at the Open Championship. Meanwhile, Rory McIlroy 5 over, 7 over, Bryson DeChambeau 5 over. So some of the big names, some of the heavy favorites, not really playing well across the pond. Phil Mickelson, 2 over after 12. Let's see if we can find where Scotty Scheffler and Tiger's 4 over after 10 now. He actually got off to a pretty good start, was 1 under after 3, made a bomb of a birdie putt, but that has gone the opposite direction ever since. Let's see where we get Scheffler. Scheffler is the pick to win, or the odds-on favorite to win. He is even par through 9 holes, so obviously right in the mix early going. Guys like Bryson and Rory might have shot themselves out of it in the round number 1.
Speaking of out of it, Will Ospreay last night, Brent, has got to be out of it as MJF became the international champion after a 1 hour wrestling match last night.
I saw they even had like a 7-year-old kid.
7-year-old girl was slapping MJF a little bit, and MJF gave her the middle finger, which was, that's cool. Do your thing, man. But yeah, it was a 1 hour match last night, and MJF walks away the winner of the international championship for AEW.
Speaking of, I'm wondering if Nick's going to get this college football 25 going tomorrow. I'm wondering if you guys are going to get the wrestling show going next.
We streaming, or what are we doing?
Yeah, I'm still waiting on a copy to get an open done for Casey Kurtz and Austin Lane.
Let us know when you can start streaming on Twitter.
We're penciled in, I think, for next Wednesday.
All right.
To start the Scrap House.
Let's go.
Right?
Yep.
And that will be a Wednesday at 6 o'clock, I think it is.
I think so right now, yeah.
So maybe some other events going on with that around. When SummerSlam's not till August, you said?
August, correct.
So that will be one of the new shows unveiling here on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network, a potpourri of shows, if you will. And that includes a Cup Date with Stuart Weber coming up at 1, a week with Action Sports Jacks as well with Olivia Tassley today. And you've got your Stripe Show podcast, so a little golf at 2, and then Young and Norvell show at 4 o'clock, part of the lineup each and every day here on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
A potpourri, a smorgasbord. I mean, I like a smorgasbord of shows, but hey, potpourri works just fine as well.
Potpourri is a good word.
When you're eating, when you're smelling good.
There we go. Let's put a wrap on today's show with the uniform unveil. We had George Peler on earlier in the show. He took us behind the scenes on that. This was pretty easy for the Jags. I mean, again, we get so many positive reviews.
Of course.
They did. It's a smart thing. Sometimes when you bring something back, you tinker and you try to evolve it, and it didn't touch it.
Yeah,
it's just like, bring it back.
Yeah.
That's really simple. I mean, hey, let's go back to 1995. Okay, done deal.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, like George said, they didn't really change anything. Obviously, with technology, the jersey's a lot lighter, but that's about it. And bringing back the black helmet as well, it's a nice little touch with the original logo. But just wait, man. I predict, because I think these things look so great. I'll be honest. When they unveiled their current jerseys that they use, Brent, you know, like the teal ones and everything.
Yep.
When they got unveiled, I was kind of like, okay. You know, I didn't think they were that great, weren't that bad. I was kind of indifferent towards them. When they unveiled these, though, I was like, wow, this is cool. This is awesome. This looks great. I think the vibe going forward now, the hearsay going forward is going to be people are going to want these jerseys to be permanent.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we get to that, right? If we can go back and do that. I don't think they'll do that.
But I'm just saying, I think the fan outreach is going to make those jerseys permanent.
Yeah, so for now, they're wearing it on Week 5 against Indianapolis Colts. That's when Tom Coughlin will be inducted into the Pride of the Jaguars as well. So that has been said. They have not put out another date that the jerseys will be used. I'm assuming there's going to be another date at the very least. Will they use it a couple of times? You can use it as many as 3 times.
Yeah.
Different uniform combinations, so that's the NFL rule. But looks like a home run for the Jags as they now have a lot of the gear available in their Jaguars ProShop, I'm assuming online as well. So good day to be a Jags fan, kind of fun. And we'll continue to dive into that story throughout the rest of the day on TV on CBS 47 and Fox 30. We also picked and drafted our 30-year anniversary team, if you will. It's not the best 30 players or the best 25 players or the best whatever players. We just drafted a team that we think could make a run for a Super Bowl with players that have played in a Jaguars uniform.
Yep.
And so we each have our own team. We're going to have a graphic that will showcase what the teams look like. We'll let you decide, and more on that coming up tomorrow. And even this weekend, I'll probably do a little something with that on Action Sports Shacks Primetime coming up Sunday night, 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:30 on CBS 47. All right, have a good rest of the day, and we'll see you on TV tonight for Austin Lane and Nick in the daytime. We'll do it again tomorrow at 10 a.m. on the Brent and Austen Show on the Action Sports Shacks 24/7 network.